Welcome to the Northwest Sports Fanatics YouTube channel. I am your host, Orion. I got a great show for you here today between the Philadelphia Phillies and the Seattle Mariners. First pitch is going to be here in roughly 5 to 6 minutes. So let's cue up the music, take a look at the thumb, and let's get into the starting lineups. Happy Monday, everyone. And on the thumb, on the left, one of the best hitters in the game, Kyle Schwarber. And on the right, our number one, our ace, Walter, a.k.a. Logan Gilbert. Now let's get into the starting lineups here first for the visiting Philadelphia Phillies. Leading off for the Phillies at DH, Kyle Schwarber. Batting second, playing shortstop for Philadelphia, Trey Turner. Batting third, playing right field, Bryce Harper. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, second baseman, Luis Arise. Batting fifth, playing first base, Alec Bohm. Batting sixth, playing third base, Bryson Stott. Batting seventh, playing left field, Brendan Marsh. Batting eighth, catching today for the Phillies, JT Realmuto. And batting ninth, playing center field, Justin Crawford. And on the mound for the Phillies, their ace, 10-4 record, ERA of 2.92, Zach Wheeler. And now let's get into the starting lineups for your Seattle Mariners. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, playing right field, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Batting third, playing center field, it's J-Rod Julio Rodriguez. Batting cleanup, batting fourth, first baseman, it's Nails, Josh Naylor. Batting fifth, DHing for Seattle, Taylor Ward. Batting sixth, catching today for Seattle, big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Batting seventh, playing second base, Cole Clutch Young. Batting eighth, playing third base, Weston Wilson. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Brock Rodden. And on the mound for the Mariners, our ace, our number one, 10-7 record, ERA of 3.35. It is Logan Gilbert. Tridents up. Let's go M's. Phillies are on a 9-game win streak, so we already know this is going to be the toughest series that we have for the rest of the year. You know, we got the Red Sox and then the Blue Jays after that. They transition into the Athletics, and it gets much easier in September. But in all reality, this is going to be by far the hardest series. And then once we're done with this series, I feel that we're going to play the same way that we did against the Cubs versus the Red Sox. I think we can win 2 out of 3 against them. Same thing against the Blue Jays. Now, this is going to be tough, you know, to try to win 2 out of 3 against Philadelphia. But if, you know, we have decent pitching and the bats come alive at home, we have a better chance of beating Philadelphia at T-Mobile than we do in Philadelphia. And again, if we can just somehow win this first game, there is a chance that we might be able to win 2 out of 3 against Philly, 2 out of 3 versus Boston, 2 out of 3 versus the Blue Jays, and then have the easiest schedule out of any baseball team in September. And I still think that we have a very good chance of winning the division. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season from the radio booth. So every game we dedicate it to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. Tridents up. Let's go M's. We're going to be shooting for 100 likes, 100 on that dono train. And 5 to 15 subs. Let's get it, baby. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. All right, Logan Gilbert on the mound. And we're going to have some good performances out of guys that have been hot as of late. Obviously, we know one of them is Josh Naylor. And again, the guy that's been the hottest of them all, Randy Arozarena. All right, Logan Gilbert started off here on the mound. Kyle Schwarber in the box. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Monday. I'm looking forward to the challenge, and we'll see where we end up after this series is over. Golf in the building. What's good? Jerry, Dark Passenger all day. Julie, Jonah, I see you. Let's get it. Doyle in the building. What's good? All day. I see you. Daniel's in the building. Justin's in the building. No spamming. And just for that, you should know better. Brown in the building. What's good? And again, could we end up getting swept by this Philadelphia team? Absolutely. I mean, they're on a 9-game win streak, but we just got to hope that we can win game 1. And if we're able to do that, we should have a chance to win 2 out of 3. And then obviously Red Sox and Blue Jays will be, tough series, but I think we match up with those teams a little bit better. And again, this is the last tough series really for the rest of the year, unless you want to say the Red Sox series will be equally tough. I don't think it'll be on the same level. I think it'll be difficult, but I think it's a little bit more winnable, kind of like the Cubs series. I feel like the Cubs and the Red Sox play very similar, and we had pretty good success besides that last game, winning 2 out of 3. And I think we can do that against Boston. And then the Blue Jays usually play us tough, but I don't think we really have any issues with them. So I like our chances, obviously, moving forward and winning this division. First pitch, low and at the knees, almost hitting Schwarber there. Down towards the legs, 1-0 count. Four-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour, and Schwarber is at 39 home runs. Next one is 40, and hopefully he doesn't give it up here early. 1-0 pitch, hitting the corner, 98 miles an hour with a four-seam fastball. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Schwarber. Rebecca in the building. What's good? One pitch. Low and inside at the knees, four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour. Well, it's just Bryce Miller is injured. And finally, he's coming out and spoke out to the media that he has been injured for quite a while now. And again, a lot of guys are trying to play through injuries, but we need to send Bryce to the injured list or into the bullpen. Because obviously, if you got an ERA in the 7s, that's even worse than Castillo or Mooney, earlier in the year. So right now, Bryce is a liability. We called Kane Anderson up, and it seems like if we're going to have Bryce Miller on the mound, it's an automatic loss. So we need to move him to the pen where he can at least be effective for a half inning or 2. 3-1 pitch, low and at the knees, does not go around, and that's going to be a 5-pitch walk to Schwarber. But again, I don't think we're going to mind. Schwarber is one of those guys that's like Yordan Alvarez, PCA, Pete Crow Armstrong, as well as Shohei Ohtani. When you have a guy that can hit, 30, 40, 50 bombs, sometimes you got to be able to walk a guy, whether it be intentional or if it just kind of happens through the flow of the game. And again, we just got to make sure that we pitch a certain type of way to a lot of these hitters. And, the Phillies, they got an all-star team. There's no doubt about it. It may not be on the same kind of intimidation level as the Dodgers or maybe even the Brewers, even though they're not really well-known names on Milwaukee. But this Philly team has got a lot of studs. Next up is Trey Turner, first pitch. Takes a strike, looking right down the middle, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Turner. And anytime you have Bryce come in and then you end up going with some of the weaker options in the bullpen, and then you end up having, guys that normally don't pitch, to go out there with, like Johnny Pareda ended up kind of pitching towards the end of the game. So they didn't want to use any of their good pieces, and that's why the game got out of hand. I mean, it was already out of hand, but like really out of hand. When we don't like losing, the way that we did against Milwaukee and Chicago. But again, if you're not going to use, pitchers, that are normally pitchers, then sometimes the game can kind of explode where the other team can get 15, 16, 18, 20 plus runs. And obviously that's not ideal for us Mariner fans. Pitch fouled off and out of play. 1-2 pitch, low and away with the splitter, 83 miles an hour 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Turner. We got a heat wave here in Oregon and Washington. 92 degrees today. So hopefully it'll be only for today for a lot of you. And we should get a little bit of a cool down in the 80s starting tomorrow. 2-2 pitch. Popped up into right field, fading out of play. Four-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour to Trey Turner, the former Dodger. Top of the first inning, 0-0, Phillies and Mariners. Ronnie's in the building. How are you? And again, we have a much better chance of winning games at home versus Philadelphia than on the road. Big swing and a miss. And the best part about it, after a devastating loss, to have your number one pitcher on the mound, and we've had that happen a few times with Logan, after getting beat up terribly, to be able to have him start off the next series as the guy, it should give us a very good chance to compete. And again, that's why Logan is on the thumb here today. Good job there by Logan Gilbert, striking out Trey Turner. And that is 1 away. Next up is Bryce Harper. 260 average, 26 homers, 75 ribbies for Bryce. First pitch is low and at the knees, inside, 1-0 count. And, again, we don't want to be pitching right down the middle against this Philadelphia team. You pitch right down the middle. Every single guy, 1 through 9, can hit home runs. So, again, we have to make sure we're pitching inside and outside and occasionally down the middle. But you don't want to test too many of these hitters. Otherwise, it's going to get out of hand early. And we need Logan to be, not necessarily perfect, but hopefully gives up 2 runs or less, 3 at the most. And then we have to hope that the bats come alive for the Mariners. 5 runs, 7 to 10 hits. And if we're able to do that, we should have a very good chance to compete, at least today, as well as the series. 1-1 pitch. Getting the strike zone, low and at the knees, but not getting the call. 99 miles an hour, no challenge there by Cal Raleigh. Looked like it might have just hit the line, but no challenge. 2 balls and 1 strike with a runner at first. Schwarber with 1 out. Trident's up. Let's go Elms. And Harper with a little pop into left. And Schwarber puts on the brakes there at second base. Runners at first and second with 1 out. One of the better pickups at the deadline, a guy that can bat 300 to 350 with his eyes closed, second baseman Luis Arise. On deck is Alec Boehm. And anywhere that Luis Arise lands, he's always a productive player, and he has been for quite some time. 322 average, 6 home runs, 54 ribbies. And again, the perfect person to usually lead off, for a team, but when you end up having the talent that they do in Philadelphia, you can end up having him bat 4, 5, 6, or 7. And that shows what kind of talent Philadelphia has. First pitch is fouled off and out of play. And it feels like Arise, might be the closest thing as far as consistency as Ichiro from back in the day. And no one will ever be Ichiro. Ichiro's a one of one. But I'm talking about the fact of a guy that can bat 300 to 350 in a league now where you rarely see guys batting over 300. And Arise is a very good, hitter. And he can pull the ball very well, very patient in the box, and definitely a dangerous hitter. 1-1 pitch. Popped up and out of play. Lowest strikeout rate, highest batting average. And again, he's been phenomenal the last 3, 4, 5 years. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Arise. And if we didn't sign Brandon Donovan, this would have been the perfect, player for the Mariners to try to get. But obviously going from one team to the next. And, he's been bouncing around quite a few teams within the last few years. 1-2 pitch. And a little dribbler towards third base and out of play. And kind of similar also to Ichiro, doesn't really hit a whole lot of home runs. Doesn't mean that he can't hit for power, but technically, usually goes for single swings like Ichiro did. And I know if Ichiro went for power, he probably could have hit 20, 30 home runs in a season or two. Same thing with Arise, but usually his job is just to get guys moved over and to try to get singles and doubles. But occasionally we'll be able to hit a deep bomb. 1-2 pitch from Gilbert to Arise, and a little blooper into Randy, and it drops. And now we got bases loaded with 1 out. All All right, we need to get a double play desperately, or at least a fielder's choice to prevent them from coming home. Next up in the 5-hole, first baseman Alec Boehm. And on deck is Bryson Stott. Phillies are on a 9-game win streak, number 1 in MLB, which is not ideal, but again, we have the hardest schedule out of any team in August, and then we go to the easiest schedule out of any team in September. This is our last tough series of the year, so we just got to be able to do the best that we can. We've already gone through the meat of the schedule. Some games have been amazing, like those first 2 Cubs games. We've also gotten blasted by Milwaukee, game 1, and obviously Cubs in game 3. But again, we can put that behind us, and we just got to be able to, try to do the best we can, one pitch at a time. First pitch, big swing and a miss, high and inside, Alec Boehm, 0-1 count. Appreciate that, Matt. I'm really digging, I feel it's like kind of a new trend in sports, with the cutoff sleeve hoodies, and not just baseball, but for basketball and hockey and NFL and college football, and I can run a little hot anyway. So I think it's, naturally, it's not only a stylish look, but it also is more comfortable for people that run a little hot like myself. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, big sweeper there, 82 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Alec Boehm. And honestly, I think they should be making more, cutoff, hoodies, with no sleeves. I think it's just a better look. And hopefully that'll be something that kind of gets picked up by some of these companies moving forward. 1-2 pitch. And that is way outside with a splitter. And then if, they don't have one, of your favorite team, or if you got a hoodie that might be a little older or newer, you can just cut the sleeves off yourself. As long as you, cut at the right spot, you'll be good to go. 2 balls and 2 strikes with bases loaded and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound, Alec Boehm in the box. Come on, Logan. Hawks in the building. What's good? Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Come on, Gilbert. 2-2 pitch, line drive. Get it. Throw to first. 2 away, 1 run scores, and that's fine. Schwarber comes home from third, but we just got to limit the damage there. 1-0 Philadelphia, and hopefully that'll be the only run they score here in the first inning. And good defense there by Cole Clutch Young. All right, next up in the 6 hole is Bryson Stott. First pitch right down the middle, 4-seam fastball, 99 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Come on, Logan. And Logan gives us the best chance, out of any of our pitchers, since Bryce Miller is finally confirmed he's been injured for, it feels like a few months now, but finally exposed that, to the media last night. And ERA is up in the 7s now, so we can't afford to have Bryce be a starter anymore. He needs to go to the injured list or go to the bullpen, one or the other. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, nasty splitter, especially with Cade Anderson called up. You want to make sure you can at least get something positive out of a guy that clearly cannot pitch 5 or 6 innings anymore, but can potentially pitch a half inning or maybe 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Bryson Stott. Let's go, Logan. Let's get this punch out, pop up, or ground ball out. Let's go. 0-2 pitch. Low and away with a splitter, 84 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with runners at second and third and 2 outs. Top of the first inning, 1-0 Philadelphia. Good news is, though, J.P. Crawford is due back tomorrow. Has been doing pretty well, obviously, for the Tacoma Rainiers. And Colt Emerson, on the flip side, ended up having season-ending surgery on the wrist, and we won't have him until next season. Big swing and a miss. There we go. Big punch out, and we only give up 1. Good job there by Logan Gilbert. And unfortunate that we're not going to see Colt Emerson. But again, we kind of had a feeling something was up. And a lot of times when people are playing poorly, sometimes it's just them in a slump. But other times they are battling an injury and trying to go through it. And obviously now it just seems like, Bryce Miller now with an injury, and then Brian Wu is injured, and now Colt Emerson with the surgery, which is not really that much of a surprise. We already knew he was more than likely going to, have the surgery and whatnot. And if not, he would have went and played for Tacoma for the rest of the season, more than likely. So we hope for the best, for Colt Emerson, and I hope he heals up and we'll see him next season. And at least we're going to potentially get JP Crawford back tomorrow, and that'll give us a lift, obviously, at third base between him and Weston Wilson. We've missed you, JP. All right, let's go to the bottom of the first inning and let's see if we can tie this game up. Leading off for the Mariners in left field, the hottest hitter on Seattle, Randy Arozarena. Batting second, right fielder, the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting third, center fielder, it's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Tried in sub, let's go M's. 89 subs to go to 24,700. Let's go, baby. So looking for our first dono on our dono train. And let's see where we're at on the likes here early on. And we're at 48, 52 to go. First pitch from Zach Wheeler to Randy Arozarena, takes a strike looking. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch with the sinker for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-1 pitch, low and at the knees with a sinker, 95 miles an hour off the plate. 275 average, 20 homers, 58 ribbies for Randy Arozarena. Most consistent hitter for the Mariners all season long. Is a free agent at the end of the year and will be one of the top 2 or 3 names that will be available with Skubal and Arozarena at the very top. 2-1 pitch, high and inside. Sinker missing there by Zach Wheeler. Good count here early on. 3 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. 3-1 pitch as Randy tries to make his way to first base and has to take a step back. Inside on the line. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Three-two pitch popped up behind the plate and out of play. Count now remains full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. Joe in the building. What's good? 3-2 pitch, high and away, and a good take there by Randy Arozarena. And now we got Randy at first. Let's see if we can bring him home. Good job there by Randy and his patience in the box. And a guy that definitely needs to get back to being a patient hitter, Dominic Canzone. 19 home runs, just like Julio Rodriguez, and I feel both of those hitters have been pressing a little bit. They just need to let the game come to them, and then we'll be able to get some runs on the board. First pitch, high and inside, 1-0 count. And I think I've seen Dom and Julio swing at the first 2 pitches a little bit too frequently. Let's get to, pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we're able to get that out of Dom and Julio, there's a good chance that one or both may homer today and in the series. 1-0 pitch. High and inside on the line with a 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with a runner at first. Randy Arozarena with no outs. 1-0 Philadelphia. One pitch. There we go, Dom. That's what I'm talking about. On a 1-1. And look at that. You have patience in the box. You wait for pitch number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And look at that. Dom gets a single. I'm not surprised. Great job. All right, now let's see if Julio can get it to pitch 3, 4, 5, and we might be able to get a lead here early. Great job there by Randy forcing the walk. Great job by Dom getting to pitch number 3 and getting one that he feels that he could actually connect with. And next up is Julio Rodriguez. Don't swing at the first pitch. Take the first pitch, see where, that ball is going to be thrown in what type of area. And then, then you can kind of play it by ear from that point forward. Well, let's see what Julio does here. I mean, unless you get one right down the middle that you feel you can connect on, but let's see what Julio gets. First pitch takes the strike right down the middle with the sweeper, 82 miles an hour, 0-1 count. And with a pitch like that, if he would have swung, it would have been a ground ball out, potentially a double play. So I'm glad that he didn't swing there. 19 home runs there for Julio and Dom, trying to catch up to Randy, who's at 20. 0-1 pitch, popped up into right field, fading out of play. Count now remains no balls, 2 strikes, runners at first and second and no outs, 1-0 Philadelphia. Oh-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field, back, gone! What did I say? Pitch number 3, let's go! 3-1, home run number 20, let's go! My ESP is on point today. 3-1 Mariners, let's go! What do you know? You listen to the NWSF and you wait to get to pitch 3, 4, 5. Good things happen for guys that have been pressing Dom and Julio. And like I mentioned, if you're patient, good things happen. What happens? Randy gets a walk. Dom waits to pitch 3. What happens? He gets a single. Julio waits to pitch 3. Goodbye, baseball. 3-1 Seattle. Let's go. Josh Naylor is up next. First pitch, he bunts foul. And things are going good if we're already trying a bunt attempt in the first inning. Let's go. And again, I had a good feeling. I know this team is really good. 9-game win streak. Don't get me wrong. We got a better chance of winning here than we do in Philadelphia. And just because they're on a 9-game win streak doesn't mean they're going to get to number 10 tonight. Let's go. Tridents up. Let's go, M's. But again, we have to be patient, and Logan has to pitch well. And not only Logan, the bullpen as well. But good job there by Julio Rodriguez, making me look smart here on the channel. Same thing with you, Dominic Canzone. I love the patience. 1-1 pitch, hard hit ball by Josh Naylor. Deep right field, back to the wall. Go, Naylor, go. Naylor's going for 2. Run, Naylor, run. Safe. Woo! Let's go. And Naylor's kind of a big boy. Hopefully he didn't injure himself. Now he's holding the back of his neck and he's not getting up. And I hope Naylor's okay. But again, Naylor tried to stretch a single into a double and collided with. I hope he's all right. And again, tried to be able to. And it looks like they're going to challenge the play here as he collides with Trey Turner. And he kind of slid a little early. We know Naylor sometimes has a tendency of, kind of dropping to the ground, maybe a step or two too soon. And he's kind of smashed his face into the dirt a couple times. And this will be interesting to see, what happens. But I hope that Naylor is okay. And Naylor's head goes right into Turner's knee. I hope he's all right. I mean, again, we have the worst luck with injuries, don't we? I mean, this is the most injury-riddled Mariner team I've seen in 40 years. As soon as we get one guy back, another guy gets hurt. We already have Bryce Miller injured. We have Brian Wu injured. JP might be coming back. Colt Emerson just had season-ending surgery. And then now Josh Naylor hopefully is okay after having his head go right into Trey Turner's knee. And on top of that, we're going to have a challenge, and hopefully he's not out because you don't want to have insult to injury, And I hope Naylor's okay. Might have been just a little stinger on the neck. But again, the last thing that we need is Naylor to be out. And again, probably should have just took the single, but again, the momentum, you're feeling the energy from the crowd. Randy drew the walk. Dom got the single. Julio got the 3-run home run. Naylor's like, okay, I got one towards the wall. I'm going to try to go. But also you got to know your limitations as a bigger player. We know that Naylor is not as fast as some of the other guys on the team. You might be faster than Cal, but you're not as fast as some of the other, smaller players. And we know he can steal bags, but again, you got to be able to pick and choose your battles. And it looks like Naylor is called out. And on top of that, he might be injured. That's brutal. So got him on the hair. Hair counts as part of the body. And everyone is giving him a standing O, but I don't know if we're going to see Josh Naylor coming back in this game. We just got to hope that he ends up playing for us and he's not on the injured list. Hopefully this will be just like a day-to-day injury, but highly unlikely Naylor returns and another injury for the Mariners. But with that being said, I still think that we're going to win the division. I still think that with the Astros and the Rangers and Mariners, all of our teams haven't really played that well this season. And with the easiest schedule out of any team, in September, we should be able to make up the 3 games back that we're at right now. But prayers up for Josh Naylor. And again, maybe next time, he'll just take the single rather than trying to force a double. First pitch in to Taylor Ward, big swing and a miss, 0-1 count. Yeah, but you don't want to have Naylor with a green light because he's not fast. And again, you give him the green light every time, then stuff like that happens. Not only did he end up being out, now he's injured, and for who knows how long. We can't afford for guys to get hurt, especially when we can prevent things. Now, if this was like at the end of the game and we needed a run badly, then yeah, that circumstance, go for it. But in a game where we already have a 3-1 lead, that really didn't need to be done. He could have just taken the single, but sometimes emotions get the best of you. 2-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Ward. And again, if we didn't have as many injuries this season, then it might be a different story. But again, we have the most injuries out of any team in baseball, and, chalk up the injury stat sheet for another one. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Ward. Three-two pitch, high and away. Good walk there by Taylor Ward. So Woo's got shoulder inflammation, so he'll be out for a few days. He was supposed to start yesterday instead of Bryce on his birthday. And obviously it probably would have been better with Woo pitching yesterday. Don't know if we would have won, but we would have had a better chance than Miller, who's been injured and terrible lately. But again, we just got to hope that Naylor is only day-to-day. The worst case scenario, he'll be on a 7-day or 10-day IL, but hopefully it's just day-to-day. And, I'm not sure if we're going to see him back this series, but maybe we'll end up getting him, against the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. But at least JP is coming back tomorrow, so at least we have another player coming back with Naylor being hurt. Just sucks, man. Just way too many injuries this year. Some self-inflicted injuries and others just, the wear and tear on the body. Next up is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. On deck is Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, baby. Great start here for the Mariners against a team that's on a 9-game win streak. 3-1 Seattle. They get on the board with bases loaded. We only give up 1. Randy forces a walk. Dom is patient, gets to pitch 3, hits a single. Julio waits to pitch 3 and hits a 3-run bomb. But then Naylor ends up trying to turn a single into a double, gets thrown out, head hits Turner's knee, and now is out for the game and probably out for a few. First pitch is high and inside to the big dumper, 4-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, hard hit ball, deep right field, back, gone! The big dumper, let's go! Let's go, baby! 5-1 Mariners, woo! That's what I'm talking about, baby. Even with the Josh Naylor injury, we're still finding ways to ball out. And again, I had a good feeling. I know sometimes when we play really good teams, when we're on the road, we might get blasted and obliterated, but we play good ball at home. And again, Cal Raleigh finally getting a home run from the left side. I love it. He's been good on the right side, but the left side, not so much. But he definitely turned it up there. 5-1 Seattle. Next up is Cole Clutch Young, and this is one of the best first innings that we've had in a few days. Let's go. And again, if we can somehow, some way win 2 games out of 3 against Philadelphia, that'll carry over to the Boston series, the Blue Jays series, and then getting into the easy schedule in September, starting out with the Athletics. Big swing and a miss. Right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. And it's not like Zach Wheeler is some kind of chump. I mean, he's one of their best pitchers on the team. So for him to get roughed up like this is very odd and rare. Little flip back to first base. Toe tap on the bag by Wheeler. Just running out Cole Young in the nick of time. And that is 2 away. Never given up 5 runs all season in the first inning, and we did it to Zach Wheeler. Good job. Next up is Weston Wilson, and welcome back to the lineup, shortstop Brock Rodden. Let's go. And it seems like, when we get blasted, in the previous game, we really come out, firing on all cylinders in the next, and we've done that multiple times. Not only when we got blasted by the Brewers in game 1, won games obviously after that, and then obviously with the Cubs, winning game 1 and 2, getting blasted yesterday, and then coming out with a 5-run so far first inning. No balls and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Weston Wilson. Try to ends up. Let's go M's. Oh-2 pitch, hard hit ball towards first base and out of play with a sinker, 95 miles an hour by Zach Wheeler. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 5-1 Mariners. Let's go. Home runs by Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez. Pinch me. It's 2025 all over again. 0-2 pitch, little dribbler towards third base and out of play. And honestly, we would be up 6-1 right now if Naylor ended up, not getting hurt. But hopefully Joshua will be all right. Oh-2 pitch, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Wilson. And hopefully it's not a concussion, or anything like that, since we already have an individual, on the injured list with a concussion, with Brandon Donovan, which we had one with Julio earlier in the year as well. So 1-2 pitch, high and away, and hit in the corner, and that is strike 3. No challenge by Weston Wilson. What a fantastic first inning. And again, that's what I kept telling people last night. Just because we get blasted, with Bryce Miller on the mound and we start throwing in our worst pitchers from the bullpen, and then we end up throwing in Johnny Pareda, our backup catcher, on the mound, and it gets embarrassing, it doesn't mean that we can't come out and compete with one of the best teams in baseball. And I'm really happy that we are doing a great job early on. End of the first inning, 5-1 Seattle. Christakis with a 5er getting us started. Appreciate you, Christakis. All right, we're at 5 on the Dono train. 95 to go. Let's go, baby. Fantastic start. Let's go to the top of the second inning and see who's up next year for Philadelphia. Next up for the Phillies, left fielder in the 7-hole. Look at that beard, Brendan Marsh. Batting second in the 8-hole, catcher JT Realmuto. And batting third in the 9-hole, center fielder Justin Crawford, who is related to JP, son of Carl Crawford. And obviously, when you can have a Crawford, you can kind of see a little bit of the resemblance as well. Try to ends up. Let's go M's. Bohm grounded out to second, scoring Schwarber when they had bases loaded, making it 1-0 Philadelphia. Julio homers to left, 392 feet after Randy got walked, and Canzone was patient and got a single. 3-1 Mariners, and then Cal Raleigh ends up getting a 2-run blast with Ward on board. 5-1 Seattle. Let's go. First pitch into Marsh with the 4-seam fastball. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch to Marsh. high and away, changeup 84 miles an hour, missing. 1 ball and 1 strike to Brandon Marsh. On deck is JT Realmuto. Mando in the building. What's good? 1-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the second inning, 5-1 Mariners. Let's go. Fantastic start. One-two pitch, and Marsh pops it up, shallow center field. Julio is there, and that is 1 away. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. As dependable as they come. Next up is JT Realmuto. On deck is Justin Crawford. First pitch from Gilbert, high and inside with a 4-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Three-run blast by Julio, 2-run jack by Cal Raleigh, 5-1 Seattle. And the Phillies are on a 9-game win streak. So, again, every streak has to end. And hopefully that'll end here tonight. 0-1 pitch, low and away, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour, 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Realmuto. 1-1 pitch from Gilbert, high and inside, but hitting the line, 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out, top of the second inning, 5-1 Mariners. Let's go, baby. We're at 5 on the Dono train, 95 to go. 90 subs to go to 24,700, 390 to be able to get to 25,000. Shout out to our female audience, our new subs, our regulars, our mods, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. 1-2 pitch to Realmuto, low and away, sweeper, 83 miles an hour, 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound, Realmuto in the box. Yeah, we're at home. Anytime you end up seeing the background on my show, that's going to reflect where the game is. I don't just randomly choose, a background. It's always going to be where the game is played. And we are at home. 2-2 pitch, high and away. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Realmuto. 3-2 pitch, hard hit ball, deep left field, back, gone! Wow, JT Realmuto, big home run there, solo dinger, number 9 on the year, hit the top of the wall and went into the crowd, or into the bullpen for that matter. 5-2 Mariners. Ball is flying out of the park today. I guess we have to be happy that was just a solo dinger rather than a 2-run jack. Got to be positive. Next up is Justin Crawford. On deck is Kyle Schwarber. First pitch is low and at the knees with a 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, 1-0 count. One-0 pitch, big swing and a miss there by Crawford. 1 ball and 1 strike to Justin Crawford. Let him know, Velasco. I can't be the only one. It has to be the mods and the regulars and, everyone in the room. It's a team effort. Something as simple as just hitting the like button is super easy, too. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Justin Crawford. 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour, high and inside. 1-2 pitch to Crawford. Line drive to Julio Rodriguez. No fly zone is in full effect, and that is caught. 2 up and 2 down. Nice job there by Julio Rodriguez. Next up is Kyle Schwarber. On deck is Trey Turner. First pitch to Schwarber. Big swing and a miss. Low and at the knees with a slider. 0-1 count. And you definitely don't want it pitched down the middle to Schwarber. He's at 39 home runs. Next home run will be home run number 40 on the season. 0-1 pitch to Schwarber. High and inside and getting the line. Great pitch there. And that's exactly where you want to pitch him. Pitch him inside, right on the line. So that way, if he swings, you're going to jam him with a pop-up. And then if he doesn't swing, it ends up being a strike. Great location and a great strategy so far early on between Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. Top of the second, 5-2 Mariners. 0-2 pitch from Gilbert to Schwarber. Little dribbler up the middle. Get it. Cole Young is there. Throw to first. And got him. And Josh Naylor is back out with the Seattle Mariners, so no concussion. Looks like, everything is okay. Kind of got us a little worried there, that he was going to be out for the game or out for a few games, but looks like he's okay. Passed all the tests that he needed to pass in the dugout, and obviously was begging Dan that he wanted to get back out there, and I don't blame him. And again, as long as he's okay, then, at least that's going to give us a little reassurance moving forward. All right, let's go to the bottom of the second inning and see if we can add on a few more runs. Tridents up. Let's go M's. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up in the 9-hole, shortstop. Welcome back to the lineup, Brock Rodden. Batting second, left fielder, one of the hottest hitters lately for the Mariners, Randy Arozarena. And batting third in the 2-hole, right fielder, Dominic Canzone. Tridents up. Let's go M's. 90 subs to go to 24,700. 390 to go to 25,000. Gained a sub. Appreciate you. 89 to go to 24,700. We're at 5 on the dono train, 95 to go. See if we get a few more individuals to support for Paisley and myself. And let's see where we're at on the likes here as we go to the bottom of the second inning. We're at 74, 26 to 100. Velasco with $1.50, and every dollar counts. Appreciate you. Go Mariners. And again, every dollar ends up adding up. Appreciate you. We're at $6.50 on the dono train. $93.50 to go. Every dollar counts. It all adds up in the end. Shout out to Velasco. And shout out to Chris Dawkins, our first 2 donations on today's Phillies Mariners stream. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. 0-2 pitch. And a hard hit ball by Brock Rodden, fading into left field, out of play. And a lot of that stuff will add up, whether it's getting dog food for Paisley, whether it's, paying the internet bill, there's always things that need to be taken care of. So I do appreciate it. 0-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. And down goes Brock Rodden on that high fastball. And that is 1 away. Next up for Zach Wheeler, 10-4 record, ERA of 2.92. So it's pretty amazing that we were able to put up 5 runs on this elite pitcher, but I'm happy that we did. Next up is Randy Arozarena, who hit 20 home runs, obviously in that big game that we all remember, the Randy Arozarena game that ended up being Cade Anderson's debut. but kind of got overshadowed by Randy hitting a home run on the first pitch, robbing a home run, and then hitting the walk-off home run at the end of the game. Randy's best game in his entire career. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss with a sweeper, 82 miles an hour, low and away. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 1 out. Bottom of the second inning, 5-2 Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Brett's in the building. What's good? 0-2 pitch, high and away. 4-seam fastball, 94 miles an hour there by Zach Wheeler. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Arosarena. 6 straight 2020 seasons. Bonds, Abreu, Bonds, Mays, and Arosarena. And you know when you're in a good category with, Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonds, his dad, or Willie Mays for that matter, you know you're in good company. Someone like Julio Rodriguez could end up doing that as well before his career is over, with a 20 home run, 20 stolen bag season, 4 or 5 years in a row. Definitely could be possible. 2-2 pitch and a little blooper into shallow center and caught, and that is 2 away. Crawford with the catch. Down goes Randy. Next up is the Italian stallion, Dominic Canzone. Be patient in the box like you were. Pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you're able to do that, good things will happen, not only for you, but also for Julio Rodriguez. First pitch is high and away with a curveball, 1-0 count. You don't want to bail the pitcher out by swinging at the first 2 pitches and popping out or grounding out when you have the talent level of a Dominic Canzone and a Julio Rodriguez. And it just kind of felt lately they've been pressing too hard, too much pressure, on their shoulders. But sometimes you just got to relax, let the game come to you, and kind of see what they're going to do in those first couple pitches. And then you'll have a really good swing attempt, usually on 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But if you have to be patient to get to that point. 2-0 pitch, takes a strike looking right down the middle, and another patient at-bat for Dom, which could lead to another hit. 2-1 pitch to Canzone, high and away. Count now is 3 balls and 1 strike to Dominic Canzone. And also, if you're patient in the box, you can actually draw a walk and also get the pitch count up. So, there are advantages by not swinging at the first 2 pitches. 3-1 pitch from Wheeler. Big swing and a miss. If he would have been patient, that would have been ball 4. Come on, Dom. Count now is 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Canzone. Three-two pitch and kind of a lazy swing there by Dom, and that is out number 3. And again, if he just would have been more patient on the previous pitch instead of kind of getting hungry, it could have been ball 4, and then who knows if Julio hits another home run here in the second. But again, we do got a 5-2 lead, so nothing to complain about. And again, we just got to be able to continue to keep our foot on the gas. All right, end of the second inning, 5-2 Mariners. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Phillies, 0 for 1 with a K, shortstop Trey Turner. Batting second, 1 for 1, right fielder Bryce Harper. And batting third in the 4-hole, second baseman Luis Arise. Trident's up, let's go M's. $89 subs to go to 24,700. 389 to 25,000, 6.2 to 6.3 million views. Next goal is 7 million views, then 8, 9, and 10. We're at 650 on the Dono train, 93.50 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes, how close we are to 100. And we got 202 in the room, so getting close to 200 likes today should be possible. And we're at 81, 19 more likes, and we'll be at 100. Appreciate you, Velasco. Malama in the building. What's good? Taylor's in the building. Go M's. Let him know, golf. Try to ends up. Let's go, M's. Fantastic start for the Mariners, but we got to keep it going. Next up for Logan Gilbert is Trey Turner. First pitch to Turner, low and away with a slider, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch to Turner, high and inside with a slider, 84 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Turner. Two 2-0 pitch, getting the line high and inside, four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and no outs. Top of the third, 5-2 Seattle. Prayers up to you. We've had some, heat waves and whatnot, and some fires in the Pacific Northwest, and obviously surrounding the West Coast, but not a lot of issues with power outages to my knowledge, but hopefully things will get better for you. Pitch fouled off and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Top of the third, 5-2 Seattle. Try to ends up. 2-2 pitch. Popped up. And that's in shallow right field. Dom is there. And that is 1 away. Yeah, we've started to kind of increase our viewership in Hawaii as well, which is awesome. We got United States and Canada, on lock, but Mexico and South America and Asia, and then obviously some parts of Hawaii, and then in Australia and New Zealand. I get all the stats of all the different countries and locations that watch, based off, age group, male or female, as well as all the different places around the world. And it's kind of humbling that we're global. I mean, I would be just ecstatic, just USA, but to be able to go beyond just the USA is phenomenal. First pitch is low and at the knees to Bryce Harper, 1-0 count. But there are Mariner fans and baseball fans all across the globe, and we want to make sure we hold it down and give you the most unique experience as far as a baseball stream on YouTube overall. And you do get that here with the Northwest Sports Fanatics. 1-0 pitch in there for a strike to Bryce Harper. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Harper. Beautiful change up there, 87 miles an hour. 1-1 pitch from Gilbert. Low and at the knees. Nice scoop job there by Cal Raleigh. 2 balls and 1 strike with nobody on and 1 out. Gilbert on the mound, Bryce Harper in the box. Two 2-1 pitch. Low and at the knees with slider, 3 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Harper. And I'm really excited for J.P. Crawford to be back on the team tomorrow and hopefully in the lineup. 3-1 pitch, popped up and out of play. And I really wouldn't mind, either spot. Again, if you're going to have Brock Rodden, play in the game, then we can have JP at third over Weston Wilson, which is probably the most likely spot for him. And I know he's been, hitting home runs and fielding ground balls, obviously for the Tacoma Rainiers, and looking forward to getting that patient batter back in the box. And, we definitely have missed him. 3-2 pitch and a little blooper right in front of Dom off of 1 hopper, and strong throw by Dominic Canzone, holding Bryce Harper to a single. Good job there by Dom. Next up in the 4-hole, second baseman Luis Arise, the best pure hitter in baseball. And next up on deck in the 5-hole, first baseman Alec Bohm. And first pitch to Arise, he pops it up. We jam him, and Dominic Canzone is there. And that's rare. Arise is typically one of those guys like Ichiro, really patient, takes his time, rarely goes after the first pitch, but I'm happy that he did. And down he goes, and that is 2 away. And if you actually go and look at Ariza's stats the last few years, it's incredible. No one will ever be Ichiro, but again, as far as consistency and being able to bat over 300, that's the closest thing that we have, at least batting wise, since Ichiro is retired. And it's kind of crazy how he's bounced around from team to team. It's kind of crazy that he hasn't stuck with one team for a long period of time, because with his skill set, he deserves, to get paid. But, he has been moved, from team to team in the last few years, which is something that I'm not sure if we're going to see for his whole career, but it has up to this point. First pitch to Bohm, takes a strike looking low and away, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, pop back to the Fred Meyer T-Mobile brick sign. 98 miles an hour. And it's nice to be able to see Logan Gilbert hit 98, 99, which is not something you usually do. Usually it's 97 and lower. Typically 95 is usually the sweet spot for him. But it looks like the velocity has been able to kick it up into another gear, which is great to see out of our number one guy, Logan Gilbert. And remember, he started off the year 0-2, lost the season opener to the Guardians, and again has pitched very, very well since then. And I'm really happy that we at least have one guy that we can count on. And I believe Cade Anderson will be, number 2. And then we'll see after Wu in his shoulder how he looks. Miller obviously has been playing with an injury and has looked terrible. Same thing with Kirby. He may not be injured, or at least not vocally saying that he is. But Miller and Kirby lately have been terrible. Hancock and Wu have been hit or miss. And then obviously I think Cade Anderson has a chance to be the number 2 guy already behind Logan. We just need to be able to get some run support and, keep his confidence up. And I'm just really happy Cade is, in the starting rotation. But that would mean, if the Mariners are smart, that we move Bryce Miller to the injured list or to the bullpen for the rest of the year. 0-2 pitch, low and away. Because, if you got an ERA in the 7s, almost at 8, every time Bryce pitches, we lose. So, and we got to be able to win games. So how do you still use a guy like Bryce Miller and make, it be effective? You move him to the bullpen or you move him to the injured list, since he has been battling an injury, it sounds like, for a couple months with a lat. 1-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And it feels like a lot of Mariner players have been battling injuries. But again, if you play through an injury, eventually we're going to find out whether you own up to it and finally tell the media that, I've been playing hurt with this lat for a couple months. Well, no shit. You've been looking like shit for the last couple months. You started off 3-0 and you haven't won a game since July 2nd. Something happened, right? And, and now the ERA has exploded with Bryce Miller. So I kind of had a feeling, that he was injured and playing through the injury, but especially when you start off so good, 3-0 record, ERA of 1.50, and then all of a sudden you lose like a billion games in a row, right? And then your ERA goes from 1 to 7, almost 8. And sometimes that happens in baseball, where you just lose your confidence or you just don't pitch well. But other times you are injured, and it seems like we've had a lot of injuries. And again, Wu is dealing with a shoulder issue, but he should be back in a couple days. JP Crawford will be back tomorrow. Colt Emerson had surgery on his left wrist. He's out for the year. It's just crazy on how many injuries we've had. But again, if you're injured, just let everyone know. Don't try to play through it, because if anything, you're hurting the team. I know how bad these guys want to play, but we still have a chance to win the division and make the playoffs, even in the most injury-riddled season we've had in the last 40 years. So again, if we can end up making the playoffs this year, we can make it in any year moving forward. This has been the most challenging year we have ever had. And again, if we are able to make the playoffs, I think that really says a lot about our grittiness and our resiliency, that even though nothing has really gone right for us this year, but we're still battling, even though our record could be a little bit better. All right, next up is Julio Rodriguez. On deck is Josh Naylor. And then after Josh, it'll be the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. And finally, Julio Rodriguez hitting home run number 20. And let's see how patient Julio will be in the box here. First batter in the bottom of the third. Let's go, Julio. First pitch is high and inside, 1-0 count. 20 home runs in his first 5 seasons, 20th player all-time to do it, 11th player all-time to accomplish it in the age 25 season or younger, and 5 previous are in the Hall of Fame. And, it's probably, not a for sure thing, but if Julio keeps playing the way that he's been playing, there is a good chance that Julio will be in the Hall of Fame one day. 2-0 pitch, in there for a strike. 2 balls and 1 strike with that sweeper, 81 miles an hour right down the middle. 2 balls and 1 strike from Wheeler to Rodriguez. And who knows how many Hall of Famers that we'll have, in the next, 10 to 20 years, depending on if we actually make a World Series. And then if we end up winning it, depending on what those individuals do in that big game. And if they have a consistent career, it's possible that this Seattle Mariner team might have a couple Hall of Famers. We might even have a pitcher potentially or 2 that could make it, and then a couple positional players potentially that could make it if they can keep having, a consistent career, whether it ends up with the Mariners for their whole career or if they end up moving on to another team and then winning a World Series and, still having a consistent career. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Julio Rodriguez. 3-2 pitch. Julio with a little dribbler up the middle. Run, Julio. Yes, and off the glove, and they can't control it. And Julio starts his day off with a home run and a single, baby. Trey Turner can't get a hold of it on the glove. Great job by Julio Rodriguez. Next up, in the 4-hole, tried to stretch a single into a double and hit his head on a knee on Trey Turner, but he's back in the lineup, first baseman Josh Naylor. And that has to be a lesson learned because, again, he ends up usually dropping down into the dirt about a step or two too early. And we've seen him slam his face into the dirt a couple times. And, again, he's a big boy, and, again, we got a lead. And I get it. There's a time and a place to be aggressive. But next time you have a play like that, just take the single. We don't want you to get hurt. And again, if the game is on the line and we desperately need to run and we need a runner in scoring position, then, go for the play, but in that particular instance, it was based on Uncle Mo and the momentum feeding off the emotion of the Julio home run. So I get it, but again, remember, you're not fast as Julio, you're kind of closer to Cal Raleigh speed wise. So, you got to be able to give and take because we need to have a healthy Naylor. We already don't have Brendan Donovan. And the last thing that we need is Naylor to have an injury. And Naylor with another hit. Let's go. No double, Naylor. No double. No double. There we go. Naylor smart says, nope, I injured myself last time. Julio gets the third, and Naylor, let's go with a single. My boy. Let's go, baby. And Naylor has been one of the best hitters, on the Mariners besides Randy Arozarena, within the last month and a half. And again, Randy all year round. But Naylor really starting to connect and see the baseball. Great job there by Josh Naylor. And again, this is crazy. We're doing this against Zach Wheeler, not like some scrub. I'm very impressed on what I'm seeing here today. Next up is Taylor Ward, who's been a good acquisition for us since we picked him up. First pitch is in there with a sweeper, 0-1 count. Come on, Taylor. Oh, 1 pitch, high and away with a sweeper, 80 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike with runners at first and third with no outs. And it would be fantastic if we could end up scoring, 8 to 12 runs today. Yeah. But also you have to remember in the Brewers game number 1, and then in the last game yesterday, bad pitching, to start it off, and then, bringing in our worst bullpen guys because we're saving them, for the next game. And then you end up having pitchers come in that are, Rivas, Robles, Johnny Pareda. So I don't really count those losses as bad as they were. Again, when you lose, to an extent, of 15 to 22 runs, a lot of times it's just, waving the white flag, like the game was already over 4 or 5 innings before that. And at this point, you're just waiting for the game to end and then saving your good players for the next. So, it's a loss, but again, we haven't responded like into a depression mode after that loss. If anything, it's motivated us to save our best pieces for the next game. And then usually we end up responding very, very well, which we have typically after we get blown out. So, we've been blown out way too often this year. That's facts, but again, we've had the most injuries than we've ever seen, right? We don't have a very good manager, and we're just trying to do the best we can with what we have. And then nice walk there by Taylor Ward on the 3-2 pitch. And now we got bases loaded for the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's see if Cal can have a multi-homer game. And again, This team is really finding, its way. August's schedule was the hardest in baseball. It's like pretty much every team we're playing is a playoff team that could go on a huge deep run, but then we get the easiest schedule in September. This is the last hard series of the year. We got Red Sox, who are going to be like the Cubs. We match up really well. And then we got the Blue Jays, which we match up really well with them as well. So I think that we easily could win 2 out of 3 versus the Red Sox and the Blue Jays. And then we have an easy schedule with the A's and, Rangers and, Astros, teams that, we're obviously familiar with. And again, even though you have an easy schedule, doesn't mean we're going to win all those games, but at least it puts us in a position where, we have a really good chance to be able to make up those 3 games that we're down back from and win the division, which I think that we will, and it's possible. 1-0 pitch, and wild pitch gets away. Go, go, go. Yes, and runner scores from third. Woo! Wild pitch, 6-2 Mariners. Woo! Everything going Seattle's way. Julio with the speed and the awareness to be able to get home off the wild pitch by Wheeler. And I love it, baby. Let's go. Awesome. And again, this team is on a 9-game win streak, but again, I wasn't afraid of this matchup. And again, we play up to the competition, and a lot of times, sometimes we play down to the competition, when you play teams like the Angels, the A's, the Royals, and we are going to be playing some of those, teams in September, but again, if you have the momentum after playing really hard teams, sometimes that'll carry over to the teams that you could have a disappointment with, kind of playing under the radar. 3-0 count here to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Let's go. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. 3-0 pitch in there for a strike. 3 balls and 1 strike with runners at second and third and no outs. Bottom of the third inning, 6-2 Seattle. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Love it. And if anybody needs wins, it's us, based on the season that we've had. 3-1 pitch is low and at the knees. Cal Raleigh to first, bases loaded with no outs, and Wheeler's having a meltdown like Bryce Miller. Who would have thought? Next up is Cole Clutch Young. Let's go, Cole. Another individual that's been pressing a little bit, just like Dom and Julio. If Cole can get it to pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, this could be a grand slam or a big RBI. Let's go, Cole. On deck is Weston Wilson. And Young with a dribbler. Throw home on the fielder's choice. And that is 1 away. And again, Cole not patient. Swinging at the first pitch. And then you end up grounding out. Should have waited into pitch 3, 4, 5, 6. And hopefully Cole will learn from that. And then later in the game, we'll go to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like Dom and Julio did. But the 3, players on the team that have been pressing the hardest lately are Dom, Julio, and Cole Young. And we need those 3 players to play to the best of their ability if we're going to make a deep run. And obviously a little disappointing at bat there for Cole Young. Next up is Weston Wilson. First pitch to Weston is inside with a sinker, and he goes around 0-1 count. On deck is Brock Rodden. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And Phillies dugout screaming at the ump. It's like, you're down 6-2, guys. You've already won 9 in a row. Stop bitching. You can't win them all. And plus, we needed to try to be able to win this first game to have any chance on winning 2 out of 3. If we lose with Logan, we could get swept. So, so we have to win this first game to give us a chance to win in game 2 or game 3 in this series. But we do have George Kirby on the mound tomorrow, but he hasn't pitched well. And then we don't know who's pitching on Wednesday yet. So 0-2 pitch. High and away, just missing the corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Weston Wilson. Time called by Weston Wilson. But after an embarrassing loss yesterday, this is exactly what we needed as a fan base. To prove that, even though we have injuries and a manager that, obviously is not that great. That, with the talent level that we have, even with our injured players, that, when we come together, we can compete with anybody in baseball. Even with our, terrible record this season, when we're on, we're on. And we don't really get that intimidated by anybody. Sometimes we will get blasted by good teams, and that's happened. But, we can also show that we can hang with anyone. And down goes Weston Wilson swinging, and that is 2 away. Come on, Brock Rodden. First pitch is low and at the knees with a splitter, 87 miles an hour, 1-0 count. Even if Rodden can force a walk and we can bring in a cheap run from third home to make it 7-2 would be great. Obviously, if he gets an RBI single, it could be 7-2. If he gets an RBI double, it could end up being 8-2. Come on, Brock. 1-0 pitch. Big swing and a miss. Low and away with a splitter, 87 miles an hour. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wheeler to Rodden. And again, this doesn't happen to Zach Wheeler. And I'm happy that we're taking advantage here. 1-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brock Rodden. And again, if we were playing in Philadelphia, we probably would get swept. Again, playing in Philly is not very good for us, but at home, we might have a chance to win 1, possibly 2 games. And if we win the first 2, then you can always talk about a potential sweep. But again, Kirby's going to have to pitch really well, and he's been kind of like Bryce Miller lately. So, and again, if Kirby's not going to be great, he's got to be at least above average and the bats would have to make up for it. But we'll see what happens tomorrow. But we got to take care of today. 1-2 pitch, high and away, 4-seam fastball, 95 miles an hour there from Zach Wheeler to Brock Rodden. Bases loaded with 2 outs, bottom of the third, 6-2 Mariners. Try dance up. Thank you. I appreciate it. 2-2 pitch. And Rodden with a little dribbler towards first base and out of play. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Rodden. Got a massive heat wave in Oregon and Washington, 90 degrees and up for most locations. Stay hydrated out there. And Rodden with a little slow dribbler, throw to first, and that is out number 3. We're not able to get any more, but at least we were able to get the wild pitch and Julio to score from third, and we have a 6-2 lead. All right, let's see who's up next for the Phillies as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Next up, third baseman in the 6 hole, 0 for 1 with a K, Bryson Stott. Batting second, 0 for 1, left fielder Brandon Marsh. And batting third, 1 for 1 with a run, RBI, JT Realmuto. Trident's up, let's go M's. 89 subs to go to 24,700. 389 to 25,000. Gained another sub moments ago. Appreciate you. 88 subs to go to 24,700. We're at 650 on the Dono train. 93.50 to go. See if we'll get a few individuals to help out for Paisley and I. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We are at 100 to go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Shout out to our female audience, our regulars, our mods, all our new subs, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. I appreciate you. 50th anniversary for the Seattle Mariners, 40 plus years on the radio for this legend and icon. He's retiring after this season, so we dedicate every stream to the one and the only Rick Riz. We love you. First pitch in there to Bryson Stott with a four-seam fastball, 96 miles an hour, right down the middle, 0-1 count. Oh, 0-1 pitch to Stott. And a hard hit ball into right off a two-hopper, three-hopper into Dominic Canzone's glove. And leadoff man is on board. Next up in the 7-hole, left fielder Brandon Marsh, one of the best beards in the game. And on deck, catcher JT Realmuto. Let's go, Logan. So far, so good for Logan Gilbert. First pitch from Gilbert, high and inside to Brandon Marsh, 1-0 count. Top of the fourth inning, 6-2 Mariners. One-0 pitch, high and away with a slider, 86 miles an hour. 2 balls and no strikes with a runner at first with no outs. Top of the fourth inning, 6-2 Seattle. Two-0 pitch in there for a strike. Yeah, but again, it happens to baseball teams all the time, where you have runners at first and second, first and third, second and third, bases loaded, sometimes even with no outs, and you get nothing. It's just a part of the game. But at least that you're getting guys on base, and then sometimes in the next inning or inning after, that's when you have that big explosion inning. So, not every time that you have guys on board, you're going to bring them home. And it gets frustrating, but again, eventually good things will happen rather than, striking out 15 times in a row and not even having any guys on base. So, it's kind of funny. I was actually looking at one of the old school Mariner lineups, back from 15, 20 years ago. Pretty disgusting. Like really the only name that was recognizable was Kyle Seager, and again, we've come a long ways, from those days where we only had 1 or 2 guys in the lineup that were actually recognizable names. And just got to take it one pitch and one game at a time. And we have to be blessed that we actually have the talent that we've had, that we've started to build from 2022 till now. A lot of really good players on this team. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. Down goes Marsh and his beard, and that is 1 away. (10-7) record, ERA of 3.35. Our number 1 pitcher all year round. Next up for Logan Gilbert is JT Realmuto. First pitch into Realmuto with the sweeper, 81 miles an hour in there for a strike, 0-1 count. 226 average, 9 homers, 44 ribbies, and got a solo dinger in the second to give him that 6-1 to 6-2. Well, at that point, it wasn't 6, but you know what I mean. At that point, it ended up turning in from 5-1 to 5-2. And we were able to get that run from Julio when we had the bases loaded. Wild pitch. And again, that's kind of, momentum in baseball. Uncle Mo is real. When things are going great, it continues typically to go great. And then obviously when things start to hit the wall, sometimes that momentum goes the other way. So, but I'm really proud of, how we've stepped up today, especially with the Phillies with the highest win streak in baseball, 9 in a row. And we came out and scored 5 runs on one of the best pitchers in the game in the first inning. Impressive. 1-1 pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Realmuto. But again, if we didn't have Gilbert on the mound today, we're probably not ahead right now. Again, that's facts. If we would have had Miller or Kirby, Wu or Hancock, realistically, we're probably, not with the lead and we probably don't have only 2 runs given up by Philadelphia. They probably have quite a bit more. So we have to be really happy that it actually lined up for Logan to start game 1. And nice catch there by Brock Rodden. Little Willie Mays over the shoulder catch, and that is 2 away. And again, it gets more frustrating when you have bases loaded in back-to-back innings or like 3 times in a game and you get nothing. So, and also if you're down. But again, if you're ahead and then you end up having bases loaded and you leave some, at least you still have the lead. So, beggars can't be choosers. We're not going to get every single opportunity to go our way. This Philadelphia team is very good. And, sometimes you just have bad luck or, sometimes it just doesn't work out. But at least we're getting on base, and which is a great sign. And hopefully we'll be able to get on base with the bullpen as well. Next up is Justin Crawford, Carl Crawford's son, and is also related to J.P. Crawford. Had to look it up earlier today. Obviously, the resemblance is there, so I figured they were related, and they are. 1-0 pitch, low and at the knees. 2 balls and no strikes from Gilbert to Crawford. J.P. Crawford on the Mariners, Justin Crawford on the Phillies. 2-0 pitch, popped up and out of play. And they're distant cousins. First cousin, once removed. Pitch right down the middle with a 4-seam fastball, 97 miles an hour. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Gilbert to Crawford. .78 pitches for Logan Gilbert so far. So obviously he's not going to be able to pitch 6-7 innings more than likely, but got to try to be able to take him as long as we can. Top of the 4th inning, 6-2 Mariners. Two-two pitch. Popped up and fading out of play with a slider, 87 miles an hour. Nice souvenir for that fan out there. Count still remains 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first with 2 outs. Top of the 4th, 6-2 Seattle. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Two-two pitch to Crawford. Hard hit ball, deep left field, fading out of play. Count still remains 2 balls, 2 strikes from Gilbert to Crawford. And speaking of Crawford, we should be getting JP back in the lineup tomorrow, which is exciting. I'm not sure if he'll start or if he'll end up, coming in later in the game. But I wouldn't be shocked if JP ends up starting at third base tomorrow. 2-2 pitch. I mean, unless they end up having him at shortstop, over Rodden, which could be also possible. I guess it just depends on if you want to have Rodden and JP, or if you want to have Weston Wilson and JP, based on third base and shortstop. So I guess we'll find out tomorrow. Pitch fouled off and out of play. Come on, Logan, dig deep. That's pitch number 81. Got to get Crawford out here. 2-2 pitch to Crawford and got him to pop up. Shallow center field. Julio is there. Yes. And Schwarber will have to wait into the next inning to come up. Great job there by Logan Gilbert. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning and see who's up next here for the Mariners. Next up for the Mariners, leadoff hitter, left fielder, Randy Arozarena. I would love to go to Randy Land and see a home run here. 0 for 1 with a run and a base on ball. Let's go to Randy Land, baby. Batting second, 1 for 2 with a run and a K. And we know Randy is on home run number 20. Julio hit number 20. Dom, could this be the opportunity if you wait to pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that you can get to the 20 home run club, just like Randy and Julio? I sure hope so. The Italian Stallion, Dominic Canzone. And batting third, 2 for 2 with a home run and a single and 3 RBIs already. It's J-Rod, Julio Rodriguez. Let's go, Julio. Let's see if we can go 3 for 3 today, baby. 88 subs to go to 24,700. 388 to get to 25,000. Gained another sub moments ago. Appreciate you. $87 subs to go now, new 24,700. 6.2 million views to 6.3 million views. Next goal will be 7 million, then 8, 9, and 10. We're at 650 on the dono train, 93.50 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes with 215 in the room. We're at 109, 91 to go. All right, Randy Arozarena in the box. Zach Wheeler on the mound. First pitch from Wheeler to Randy, high and inside with a sinker, 94 miles an hour to Randy Arozarena. 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch. Splitter in there for a strike, 87 miles an hour, right on the corner, low and at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike from Wheeler to Arozarena. 1-1 pitch, sweeper, 80 miles an hour, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to Randy Arozarena. Paisley coming in here and saying hello. Good girl. There we go. Finding a nice little spot there with the blanket in the corner, watching the game, watching Dad do his thing. Paisley says hello. 3 balls and 1 strike from Wheeler to Arozarena. Another pitch high and inside. 3-1 pitch and another walk to Randy Arozarena. Nice patient at-bats for Randy Arozarena, and hopefully that'll carry over here to Dominic Canzone. And again, Dom is the best when he ends up getting to pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, him, Julio, and Cole Young, those are the 3 guys that need to be able to really focus on that. You know, Randy has the ability to be patient in the box. Naylor has been very, very good lately. Ward has the patience. Cal is starting to find the rhythm. And again, Weston Wilson and Brock Rodden are always going to be kind of hit or miss, even though Rodden was very good in his first 4 or 5 games. But again, Cole Young, Dominic Canzone, Julio Rodriguez, 3 of our top 5 players. We really need those guys to be patient in the box, and hopefully with JP Crawford in the lineup, that'll give another guy to kind of set the example with Taylor Ward and a few of the others, that if we can be patient as a team, really good things are going to happen, and they already have today. Oh-2 pitch. Pop behind the plate and out of play. Count now is no balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Let's go, Dom. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Oh-2 pitch and a double play. Throw to first. And unfortunate double play there by Dominic Canzone. Slow dribbler up the middle. Luis Arraez doing Luis Arraez things. And that is 2 away. All right, let's see if Julio Rodriguez can make up for that double play and see if he can go 3 for 3. Let's go, J-Rod. We haven't seen J-Rod with a multi-homer game in a minute. 251 average, 2 for 2, 3-run jack, single, 2 runs, 20 home runs on the season, 56 RBIs, and a guy that plays offense and defense, which I love, and obviously one of my favorite players on the team with Cole Young and Cade Anderson. First pitch into Julio is a strike, 0-1 count. Let's go, J-Rod. Oh, 1 pitch, little dribbler towards third base and out of play. Sinker, 94 miles an hour there by Zach Wheeler. No balls and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Rodriguez. Oh, 2 pitch, little dribbler towards third and dropped. Let's go. Trey Turner with an error. Let's go. He had a hard time getting a hold of a few balls today. And Julio Rodriguez, 3 for 3, baby. A 3-run jack and 2 singles. Beautiful. Good job. All right, next up is Josh Naylor. Let's see if we can bring Julio home. And on deck is Taylor Ward. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. Throw to Julio to keep him honest, and he is safe. And I'm just really happy that Naylor, after going head first in Turner's knee, didn't exit the game. He's not on the injured list. And I'm just happy because that was definitely a freak play, and hopefully Naylor will learn from that. And a little dribbler up the middle, skates through. Go Julio, go! And Julio hustling to third. Let's go. Let's go. Naylor 3 for 3 today, even though he ended up being out, stretching a single into a double. But again, we're really getting good production back-to-back from Julio and Naylor. Great job. And this should carry over to Cal Raleigh, which it already has earlier today with a 2-run jack. And you got to be able to modify the lineup. And a lot of times we're going to criticize Dan Wilson, with horrible lineups, but again, as of, recently, making some slight tweaks, from Naylor batting 4th or 5th and moving Cal from the 7th to the 6th to the 5 to the 4, back to the 5. I am noticing, some decent movement, by Dan Wilson, even though sometimes he'll keep a guy in too long, bring the wrong guy in. But as far as the lineups have actually been tweaked pretty good, and again, for a guy that we criticize often, deservedly so, Dan Wilson, there are some good things that he's done recently. May not be enough to keep his job, but, got to give him some props, based on a few of those slight adjustments. First pitch is low and away to Taylor Ward, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, popped up and out of play, but if we were able to not do the piggyback, and especially going from lefty to righties to lefties, if we wouldn't have played Rob Refsnyder and Connor Joe and just played Luke Raley, Dominic Canzone every day, we probably would have had 5 to 10 more wins. But, they say playing the percentages, but it didn't really work out for us. Pitch fouled off behind the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Ward. Bottom of the 4th inning, runners at 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. 1-2 pitch, little dribbler up the middle. Fielder's choice, out at 2nd, and that is out number 3. And Arise gets out of the way from Naylor, making sure there's no contact there after what happened with Turner and Naylor earlier in the game. End of the 4th inning, 6-2 Mariners. Gained another sub during the commercial break there. Appreciate you. 86 subs now to go to 24,700. 386 to 25,000. See if we can get a few other individuals to support on the dono train for Paisley and myself. And we should be a little bit closer to the 150 range. Let's see where we're at. And we're at 115, 85 to go. Shout out to Christakis. Shout out to Velasco. Holding it down for us to start off the game. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Season-ending surgery for Colt Emerson. Left wrist surgery. Prayers up to him. Hopefully we'll be able to get a healthy Colt Emerson next season. And J.P. Crawford is due back with the wrist issue tomorrow. Hopefully he'll be in the lineup at shortstop or third base tomorrow. We've missed you, JP. And we definitely have missed you too, Colt Emerson. But again, it has given an opportunity for Brock Rodden to show what he can do. And, hopefully we'll be able to call up a few more guys, before the season is over. I would really love to see Lazaro Montes get a chance, but, realistically, the only chance that would happen is, more injuries to outfielders. And we already have Luke Raley out for the year. So first pitch, right down the middle, four-seam fastball, 98 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Gilbert on the mound, Kyle Schwarber in the box. Oh, 1 pitch, and got Schwarber to pop up. Get it. There we go. And Brock Rodden with the catch, and that is 1 up and 1 down. And anytime you can get a cheap out, on Yordan Alvarez, Kyle Schwarber, Pete Crow Armstrong, Shohei Ohtani, guys like that, it's huge. It definitely, stops that momentum from forming. And also, those big RBI and home run swings that those players bring on the daily. Schwarber pops up and pops out, and that is 1 away. Next up, having a rough day on defense today, Trey Turner. 0 for 2 with a K, and obviously had a missed ball and an error. Let's see what Turner does here. 244 average, 17 home runs, 49 ribbies on the season. On deck is Bryce Harper. 0-1 pitch, big swing and a miss, nasty splitter, 80 miles an hour there by Logan Gilbert. And I'm just so happy that Logan is starting game number 1. We needed to be able to have someone that we can trust on the mound. George Kirby is going to be on the mound tomorrow and hasn't been very good lately, but hopefully he'll, be better than Bryce Miller has been. But both of those two guys have not been good. Wu obviously still managing the shoulder. Should be back in a couple days. And then obviously Emerson Hancock has looked pretty good. And then obviously Cade Anderson will get better and better every start that we see. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss. What a punch out. Big punch out there from Logan Gilbert. .2 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 5 Ks, 88 pitches, 58 strikes, 3.37 ERA. Let's go, Logan. Walter. All right, next up is Bryce Harper. On deck is Luis Arise, and hopefully we'll get Harper out so we can face Arise in the next inning. 2 for 2 with 2 rocket singles, 263 average, 26 home runs, 75 ribbies for Bryce Harper. Jordan in the building. What's good, brother? 1-0 pitch. High and inside. Splitter 79 miles an hour on the line. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Harper. One pitch from Gilbert, high and away, splitter 80 miles an hour. How is my favorite Reds fan doing? How are you doing, Jordan? I know you guys have a real tough schedule in September coming up. 2 balls and 1 strike from Gilbert to Harper. 2-1 pitch, low and away with a slider, 89 miles an hour. Paisley moving to another spot in the house. 3 balls and 1 strike to Bryce Harper. Come on, Bryce. Got to find a way to swing at something that isn't there. 3-1 pitch, high and inside, doesn't swing, and that turns into a walk. But I'd rather have a walk than a home run. All right, next up is Luis Arise, and we got to see if we can get him to chase at an early pitch like he did in the previous at-bat. Popped up on the first pitch, which is not something that Arise typically does, considering he's the best hitter in baseball as far as consistency is concerned and batting average. Now we got Gabe Spire warming up in the pen. First pitch right down the middle to Luis Arise for a strike, 96 mile an hour, 4-seam fastball, 0-1 count. He's batting .323, 6 home runs, 54 ribbies. And again, this would have been the guy that I would have wanted on the Mariners if we didn't sign Brendan Donovan. if he was available at that point, that would have been like my number one choice. But, he's been bouncing around from different teams in the last 3-4 years. And every team that Luis Arraez goes to, whether he starts the year there or ends the year somewhere else, he is absolutely money. 1 ball and 1 strike from Gilbert to Arraez. 1-1 pitch in there for a strike. Beautiful changeup, 86 miles an hour. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Luis Arraez. Oh, happy birthday. The big 4-0. The big E40. Ooh. I see you. He said, tell me when to go. Throw to first and safe. Yeah. But at least you have some bright spots, like Sal Stewart, and again, Ellie is Ellie, but Sal has really broken out. And sometimes when things don't really go the way that you expect, you have to look at the bright spots of the year. And Sal has been fucking incredible, and again, I follow every team in baseball. So just like I do with the NFL and the NBA and the NHL and a lot of teams in college football. So I like to be able to make sure that, I'm keeping up with everything that's going on, not just on the Mariners, but league-wide. But I hope you have a great birthday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. And it's always awesome when you're here. And we can't say that for all opposing fans of different teams. There's going to be certain people that root for other teams that are a perfect fit for this channel. But then there's also going to be people that, that they'll get booted real quick. So, and you're definitely a regular, and we appreciate you. And you are our number one favorite Reds fan on this channel. And I hope the Reds get better and continue to have success with Sal Stewart and Ellie De La Cruz and some other individuals. And hopefully you keep building that squad. As I know, and division is tough, and it's not going to be easy. But at least you got a cornerstone piece in Sal Stewart now. And that's kind of like Cole Young for us. We haven't had a lot of things go our way, but as far as consistency, Sal Stewart has been like our Cole Young, and, we can appreciate that. 1-2 pitch. Low and at the knees. Count now is 2 balls and 2 strikes to Luis Arraez. There's a lot of guys. McGonigal and, there's a lot of guys obviously battling in the American League, National League, and obviously rookies. This is the best rookie class that we've had in a number of years, and it might be the best rookie class in the last 10 years, maybe even more. It's pretty phenomenal. Munetaka Murakami and Sal Stewart and Kevin McGonigal, they're on the Tigers, and JJ Weatherholt, like you mentioned. There's just so many amazing players that are just doing their thing, obviously. And, it would have been nice if Colt Emerson didn't get hurt and whatnot. And if he would have been able to be a little bit healthier and better in the box, then maybe he would have been mentioned a little bit more. But obviously having season-ending surgery and, not being able to hit the bat very well this season. Little dribbler up the middle, throw to first, got him. Cole Clutch Young, speaking of, making the out. And that is out number 3. Let's go. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 5th inning and see who's up next here for our Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go, Elms. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 86 subs to go to 24,700. We're at 650 on the Dono train, 93.50 to go. And we'll see who's up next here for the Mariners in just one moment. All right, we're at 125 likes, 75 to 200. Next up for the Mariners, 1-for-1 with a run, 2 RBIs and a base on ball in the 6th hole. Catcher Big Dumper Cal Raleigh finally finding a way to hit a home run from the left side. Has been very productive from the right side lately, but great to be able to see that left side is heating up. Batting second, 0-for-2. Second baseman Cole Clutch Young, one of my favorite players on the team, just needs to be able to learn to be a little patient in the box. Has been on a little bit of a mini slump, but he can get it to pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like Dom and Julio did. We can end up getting a big play from Cole before this game is over. And batting third, 0-for-2 with 2 Ks, third baseman filling in for Brandon Donovan in the concussion, Weston Wilson. Trident's up. Let's go M's. Gilbert is done. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 runs, 5 Ks to 2 walks, 102 pitches, and giving us a chance to actually win a game. And hopefully George Kirby will be able to do something similar tomorrow, even though he's been kind of on the lower end with Bryce Miller. As far as right now, those are our 2 worst pitchers at the moment, Kirby and Miller. Miller much worse than Kirby, but Kirby's been pretty damn bad. Anyone that's giving up 5 runs or more, in most starts as of late is, not ideal. And then we know Wu and Hancock have been hit or miss, but been pretty good. And Cade, obviously in his first start, had the Randy Arozarena game. Hit a home run on the first pitch, robbed a home run, and hit the walk-off. And obviously Cade gave up the back-to-back homers before he exited, but Vargas probably would have done the same when he came in. But I liked what I saw out of Cade Anderson. And we obviously know Logan Gilbert is our number 1, as he proves it again here today. And we need to pay him. Give him the money. We need to have Logan Gilbert to be a Mariner for his whole career. 1-2 pitch, popped up and out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Raleigh. You want to try to have Julio be a Mariner for life. Cal for life. Cole Young for life. And Logan Gilbert for life. And obviously Cade Anderson, obviously. But we're just starting off with him. 2-2 pitch, high and away with the curveball there from Wheeler, 79 miles an hour. Count now is full. 3 balls and 2 strikes from Wheeler to Raleigh. Three-two pitch. Cal, hard hit ball, deep right field, back, gone! Multi-homer game for Cal Raleigh. He is heating up. He is on fire. Wow! Are you kidding me? Cal! And again, he hasn't been able to really see the ball very well from the left side. And today, 2 home runs from the left side. Let's go. I'm not going to say Cal Raleigh is back, but again, slowly but surely, showing that he's starting to figure it out at the end of the season. And this is when we need Cal to be his best. 7-2 Mariners. First multi-homer game by Cal, it seems like in a billion years. Wow. Amazing. Let's go. Now we just need Cal to try to get his batting average up to 200, and he's going to have a chance to hit 20 home runs while he's essentially been batting about 160 all year. And if we can get that up, from 160 to 165, 170, 175, and then somewhere in that sweet spot of 180 to 200, which is terrible. But again, it's a lot better than what he was earlier in the year and recently. And then if we can hit him, with 20 home runs, again, any catcher, that can hit 20 to 35 home runs, that's a good year. And then if you end up hitting above 35, you're having a career year. And Cole Young, hard hit ball, gone! Look at that, third pitch by Cole Young. He listened, and there's the home run, baby. Cole Young, back to back. And I told you, Cole Young, if he's patient, good things are going to happen. And look at that. Cole Young, third pitch home run. Dominic Canzone being patient in the box, getting a good hit on the third pitch. Julio, third pitch, hitting a home run. The 3 or more strategy fucking works. And Cole Clutch Young, like I mentioned moments ago, good things could happen if you're patient. And look at that, back-to-back home runs by Cal Raleigh and Cole Clutch Young. 8-2 M's, baby. Let's go. Way to make me look good on the channel, fellas. Next up, Weston Wilson. And again, if you end up watching this stream, and you watch the games, there is, obviously, a correlation based on what we see and strategy, and if they're able to adjust. And a lot of times, players are stubborn, and they continue to do the same thing over and over and over. But I mean, again, if you just wait for pitch 3 to 7, good things will happen rather than just being overly aggressive and swinging at the first 2 pitches. Again, can you hit a home run on pitch 1 or pitch 2? Of course, but the way that pitchers are going at hitters nowadays is a lot different than it was back in the day. They're not pitching right down the middle on the first pitch anymore, right? And then they hope that you foul off the second pitch, and then it's an 0-2 count, and then you're not going to get a walk. You're not going to get the pitch count up. And then usually when a guy's in an 0-2 count, what happens? You either strike out looking, strike out swinging, or you end up popping up or grounding out. So if you can end up waiting until pitch 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, you got a better probability to be able to get a pitch that you actually can handle. And we've seen Dom, Julio, and Cole Young, which I mentioned at the very beginning of the broadcast, those guys have been pressing. And if you just let the game come to you and just be patient, good things will happen. And we've gotten good things to happen with Dom, Julio, and now Cole Young. And on top of that, Cal Raleigh. Let's go, baby. 8-2 Seattle, and we can wave goodbye to Zach Wheeler. Let's go. Fantastic rebound game. And again, this team is on a 9-game win streak. That's number 1 in MLB. And it shows you when the Mariners are patient and we have good pitching, we can compete with anybody in the league. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. And now let's see who comes in for Philadelphia. Home run number 16 there by Cole Clutch Young, and he desperately needed that. All right, McFarland is coming in for the Phillies. Alexander McFarland in. First pitch into Weston Wilson with a sinker at 1-0 count. And again, it's not often in the 2026 Mariner team that we get someone to hit a multi-homer game, Cal Raleigh, right? And on top of that, it's not often for us to hit back-to-back home runs. Now, we were doing that pretty regularly as we get a slow dribbler to third by Weston Wilson, throw to first, toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Now, we were hitting back-to-back home runs and multi-homer games quite often last year, but we know 2025 and 2026 are the complete opposite. But it's just nice to be able to see it like a glimmer of 2025 here today. And a great job here by the Seattle Mariners. And a lot of guys have homered today. And hopefully this will carry over to tomorrow with George Kirby. And then also whoever's pitching on Wednesday to determine. We'll see who that is. First pitch into Brock Rodden with a slider. 0-1 count. Soto Mojo, baby. And again, for all the haters and all the bandwagon, again, we still are going to win this division. I'm very confident of that. The Astros and the Rangers are not good. We're not a very good team, overall record-wise, but I do feel that we're going to play the best baseball out of those 3 teams, and we're going to find a way to win the division. We're going to make up those 3 games. We got an easy schedule in September, and we just got to be able to put our foot on the gas, and as long as we take care of business, we may not have a great record when it's all said and done, but if we end up making the playoffs, that's all that matters. And again, if we make the playoffs and we end up going on a hot streak, nobody's going to want to face Seattle. Obviously we know Tampa Bay and the Yankees have been very, very good this year, right? And we know the Guardians and the White Sox are dangerous. But if the Mariners can get on a win streak in September, no one is going to want to face us. And we'll have a very good chance to potentially upset someone. And who knows where things could end up. I mean, wouldn't it be the most ironic thing ever if we end up, barely, but actually winning the division, and then we end up making the World Series this year? Like I know the chances of that happening are very slim, but compared to what happened last year, and then if we were able to have all this adversity, and then we end up going to the ALDS, ALCS, and finding a way to play against the Rays or the Yankees in the ALCS to go to the World Series, how incredible would that be? And again, not many teams could get hot enough to compete with the Yankees or Rays this year. But again, we know the Guardians and the White Sox have some talent, but I feel that our team is more talented than those two. And we know, the Yankees and the Rays are incredible, but if any team could give them a little bit of a problem, if we get hot at the right time, it definitely could be us. And I think the White Sox, if they can keep up their, play, they could be another dangerous team this year as well with Munetaka Murakami, and obviously Miguel Vargas and Colson Montgomery. Pitch fouled off there by Randy, and a 2-2 pitch is strike 3 right down the middle, and that is out number 3. And great to be able to see Cal Raleigh, who's been criticized over and over, to be able to have a game like this. Great job. And hopefully this will lead to a few more multi-homer games before the season is over, not only in August, but maybe in September as well. And awesome for Cole Young to finally get off the schneid. He was stuck at 15 home runs for a while. Him and Julio and Dom have been kind of overly aggressive and pressing. And again, just let the game come to you. And we've seen home runs out of Julio and Cole Young today. And obviously 2 by Cal Raleigh. Beautiful. We love you. All right, let's go to the top of the 6th inning with an 8-2 lead. Let's see who's up next here for the Phillies. Next up, 0 for 2 with an RBI and a K, first baseman Alec Bohm. Batting second in the 6th hole, 1 for 2 with a K, third baseman Bryson Stott. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a K, left fielder Brandon Marsh. Trident's up. Let's go M's. $86 subs to go to 24,700. We're at 650 on the Dono train, 93.50 to go. See if we can get a few people to help out. Paisley and myself. Be greatly appreciated. And let's see where we're at on the likes with 228 in the room. And we're at 133, 67 to go. And I was really glad that Cal was able to, get these home runs from the left side, the strong side, who, we know improved dramatically from the right side and was able to get to that 60 home run, plateau last season. But, right side has been better as of late. But great to see that left side with 2 home runs today by Cal Raleigh. Little slow dribbler. Brock Rodden is there. Soft throw to Josh Naylor. Down goes Alec Bohm. And that is 1 away. Next up in the 6th hole, third baseman Bryson Stott. On deck is Brandon Marsh. Everything's starting to kind of fall, the way that we always kind of hoped, that they would fall, And again, this is going to be the toughest series the rest of the year. First pitch by Sir Anthony Dominguez to Bryson Stott. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, low and away with a splitter. 1 ball and 1 strike from Dominguez to Stott. Yeah. It's not only seeing the ball, the timing and the follow-through swing. Anytime you end up having injuries to your midsection, or your hips or your legs, you got to be able to drive your hips and legs, and you got to be able to have a good follow-through swing. And Cal's timing has been just completely off. On top of him being in his own head, with the mental health part of it, mentally, if you're in your own head and you're injured, it's kind of hard to be able to climb out of that hole. But it finally feels that Cal may have started to kind of figure it out, and hopefully that will be only a small sample of what's to come for Cal getting over 20 home runs, considering he's been batting about 160 all year. That's an incredible feat, to be able to hit more than 20 home runs by batting that low of a batting average. And down goes Stott with the corner pitch there right on the line, and that is 2 away. Nice strikeout there by Sir Anthony Dominguez. Top of the 6th inning, 8-2 Mariners. First pitch is high and away, painting the corner with a sweeper, 84 miles an hour, 0-1 count. Top of the 6th inning, 8-2 Mariners. Trident's up. Let's go M's. 0-1 pitch, foul back with the T-Mobile bricks with the splitter, 86 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes with nobody on and 2 outs. 0 for 2 with a fly out and a strikeout there for Brandon Marsh, and hopefully we'll be able to get out number 3 here momentarily. But again, we've had some pretty amazing games. Those first 2 games against the Cubs were 2 of the best of the year, and this is going to be one of the best games of the year also, considering they're on a 9-game win streak, and we were able to come out like this with Logan Gilbert as well as our hitters. And it definitely is something that was much needed after that blowout loss yesterday. One-two pitch, little slow dribbler towards first, flip back to Sir Anthony Dominguez for out number 3. Yeah, we got the offense, we got the defense, we got the starting pitching. Now we just got to hope that the bullpen does their job. And so far, Sir Anthony Dominguez gets a check mark for doing a good job. Now we just got to see who else is going to be coming in. And obviously Mooney doing Mooney things, but this could be a game where we get starting pitching, bullpen, hitting, and defense. And it's not often, as we've seen in the Mariners in 2026, Jace and a lot of us, we know we normally only get 1 out of 4, 2 out of 4, very rarely 3 out of 4, but today could be one of those special days where we get all 4 categories to hit for the Mariners, and it's kind of looking like it so far. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th inning and see if we can add on a few more runs. Let's see if we can get to 10 or above before this game is over. Let's go. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. Next up for the Mariners, in the 2-hole, 1 for 3 with a run and a K, having patience in the box. I love to see right fielder Dominic Canzone. Batting second, 2 for 3 with 2 runs, 3 RBIs, and a big 3-run jack. Julio Rodriguez. And batting third, 3 for 3, first baseman Josh Naylor. Julio and Naylor holding it down, obviously. Getting some good production from Dom. Cal with 2 home runs. Cole Young with a big home run. And there's still time, for Randy and Taylor Ward, Weston Wilson and Brock Rodden to have an impact on this game before we end up calling it quits. Let's go. Bottom of the 6th inning, 8-2 Mariners. All right, we're at 140 likes, 60 to go. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 6th. 8-2 Seattle. First pitch there by Jose Alvarado. On the mound, in there for a strike to Dominic Canzone. 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch. Hard hit ball into deep left field, fading out of play. No balls and 2 strikes to Dominic Canzone. Shout out to my boy Brooks Beats with the best beats on YouTube. 0-2 pitch. Check swing. Did he go? No, he did not. Cutter, 91 miles an hour, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Alvarado to Dominic Canzone. Next home run for Dom is number 20. And we've already seen Randy and Julio get to that number, and Dom is next. And think about this, you got Randy at 20, you got Julio at 20. Dom only needs 1 more to get to 20. Cal is getting a few more, to get himself in good range. Cole Young is at 16. There's a real good possibility that we're going to have 5 guys over 20 home runs after having such a really hard year. That's really saying something about this ball club. Pitch is outside. Big swing and a miss there for Dom, and that is 1 away. Cade's going to have his moments, and we needed Logan Gilbert, our number 1 on the mound today. So, and again, Cade will, be at this point, I feel, probably our number 2 guy, with probably Emerson Hancock. And then, we'll see how Wu looks after the shoulder. And obviously at the moment right now, Kirby and Miller are our worst, so, and a lot can change, but again, injuries to Wu and obviously Bryce Miller, and we just got to try to do the best we can with what we have. But, I liked really what Cade was able to do besides giving up the back-to-back home runs at the very end. But to me, Cade looks like he's going to be, the first or second best pitcher right there with Logan Gilbert. And then you'll have Hancock and Wu right behind him. And then obviously Kirby hopefully will get better, and I don't think Miller is going to get any better this season. He's injured and they need to move him to the injured list or put him in the bullpen for the rest of the year. So, and we have to be blessed that, we got Cade called up. Ryan Sloan is still killing it. And that could be another guy that we potentially could call up to help us in the bullpen. And we're still waiting for Brash and Criswell to come back as well. 2-1 pitch in there for a strike to Julio Rodriguez. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Alvarado to Julio Rodriguez. And we do get JP Crawford back tomorrow, which is great. So, for every one guy that gets injured, we get another guy back. But, I just can't wait for the time where we have nobody hurt. And then we're still waiting on Donnie, about 4 or 5 days out. 2-2 pitch, big swing and a miss. And that is 2 away. And if we can prove that we can win without Donnie when Donnie comes back, and if he's able to stay healthy for all of September, that could be the real X factor, really down the stretch. Julio strikes out swinging, and that is 2 away. Next up is Josh Naylor. Let's see if Naylor can go 4 for 4. And Naylor with a little blooper and caught, and that is out number 3. Pretty easy 1-2-3 inning there for the Phillies. All right, let's go to the 7th inning. Mariners in firm control, 8 runs, 9 hits for the Mariners, which is beautiful. 2 runs, 5 hits, and an error for Philly. And you just never would guess that this team is on a 9-game win streak, but every streak needs to come to an end, and I'm happy the Mariners are approaching that here with a couple innings to go. It's not over yet. Next up for the Phillies, 1 for 2 with a run and an RBI, catcher JT Realmuto. Batting second in the 9-hole, center fielder Justin Crawford. He is related to JP, son of Carl Crawford. And batting third, 0 for 2 with a run and a base on ball, DHing Kyle Schwarber. Trident's up. Let's go, M's. $86 subs to go to 24,700. Shout out to our female audience, our regulars, our mods, and all our new subs, and everyone watching in the United States, Canada, Mexico, South America, Asia, and beyond. We're at 650 on the Dono train. 93.50 to go. And let's see where we're at on the likes. We should be able to finish this stream somewhere between 150 and 175 on the likes. Unless we're able to get some good support, and then we'll be at 200. All right, we're at 144, 56 to go. All right, Sir Anthony Dominguez out there again trying to save our bullpen for tomorrow, and we're probably going to need it with George Kirby on the mound. First pitch, inside for a strike, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, high and inside to Realmuto. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sir Anthony Dominguez to JT Realmuto. 1 for 2 with a solo home run in the second. Let him know, Jordan. I mean, with 233 in the room, we have enough people to hit 200, so... We'll see if we get a few other individuals to help out on the Dono train. And shout out to all of our new subs. We've been able to stack those, game in and game out. And, a few hundred more, we'll be at 25,000, which is a big accomplishment, considering how long I've been doing this channel. And, obviously one short-term goal will lead to more long-term goals. 1-2 pitch popped up and out of play. And obviously, 50,000 subs, 75,000 subs. And then my long-term goal will obviously be 100,000. And obviously, it's going to take some time, but I plan on doing this for the rest of my life. So as long as I, don't quit, right, or pass away, I should have a good chance of hitting those big numbers that I have goals for. 1-2 pitch popped up and out of play. And we're already at 6.3 million views. So, getting closer to 7. And then eventually my goal will be 20 to 25 million views. But obviously for us to get to that number, we'll have to be in that 75 to 100,000 sub range. And again, we just got to keep grinding. 1-2 pitch, high and away. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sir Anthony Dominguez to JT Realmuto. Appreciate that, Golf. I feel that we have one of the best, sports channels out of all of YouTube, regardless if you're a fan of the Mariners or not. And on top of that, if you love baseball and the Mariners, this is the place to be. But on top of that, we do NFL, college football, NHL, NBA, March Madness, AEW, WWE, maybe even some boxing and UFC if it's worth, doing. So, you'll get kind of your one-stop shop right here. 2-2 pitch, hard hit ball. And Randy is there in shallow left, and that is 1 up and 1 down. No, I don't do TikTok or any of those, I don't do Twitch either. I'm exclusive here. So I first started off in my first 4 years, I was doing like Facebook and kind of this other lower tier social media to kind of, gain the skill set before, feeling comfortable, doing YouTube on the regular. But I've been streaming for 14 years and this is my 10th year on YouTube. So, and I'm hoping to be able to, do this for, 30 plus years. So, I got a little ways to go, but, I plan on doing this, for the rest of my life. So 0-1 pitch to Crawford. Big swing and a miss with that splitter, 87 miles an hour. No balls and 2 strikes from Sir Anthony Dominguez to Justin Crawford. Yeah, it just depends on the timing, if they don't overlap, and again, I'm going to do Sunday night, Monday night, and Thursday night, and if I can squeeze in like a Ducks or a Husky game and then do a Mariner game in the evening, but I got to make sure I don't burn myself out. You got to think about the amount of talking that I do, in a 3-hour stream. I'm doing play-by-play and color and promoting and the chat, and trying to give you every single detail that's happening in the game. You get a lot more here, based off verbiage in the broadcast and then in any other baseball broadcast. So, location, speed, lineups, the photos, there's a lot of work, and I'm usually pretty gassed, after a broadcast. But, there have been times where I'll do 2 or 3 in a day. And that is 2 up and 2 down. But again, if I can squeeze in, a game in the morning and then a game in the evening, I definitely, can do that. There were times where I did the morning game in the NFL, the afternoon and Sunday night football. But if I'm going to be sitting in the chair, for 10 hours straight, obviously Paisley needs to be looked after. I need to get my 5 miles in and I need to do my 3 walks with her, so it's never an issue of, laziness or I don't feel like it. It's just, I have to look out for my health, and make sure I have a voice. Because if I grind too hard, and do too many streams in a short period of time, then it may come to a point where I don't have a voice for a game, and I can't have that. So Jordan with a 20, but there will be times where I could end up doing like a Mariner game and a Seahawk game back to back, and I'm going to try to do some Seahawk games, obviously local to me, obviously here, and we'll do Monday night, Sunday night, and Thursday night. But if there's ever a time where the Seahawks are on at 10 a.m. or 1, obviously I have access to the game, and I'll be able to do that here also. 1 ball and 1 strike from Sir Anthony Dominguez to Kyle Schwarber. Shout out to Jordan. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm the best Reds fan on YouTube. Jordan. Big $20 holla. Thank you for the love and the appreciation. Pitch fouled off and out of play. 2 balls and 2 strikes from Sir Anthony Dominguez to Kyle Schwarber. Sounded like it got very close to Goldie and Healy there into the broadcast area. And that is strike 3. Great job there by Sir Anthony Dominguez. Ball is being challenged. And we know the Seahawks didn't lose very many games last year, but the Bucks were one of the teams that actually got a chance to go on a shootout against Seattle, and somehow we ended up winning that game in Seattle. And call is confirmed, and that is out number 3. Great job by Sir Anthony Dominguez, not only pitching in the 6th, but the 7th. And it's also, one of those things where I feel very blessed that I can showcase, someone else other than myself that has a dream and a goal, for someone that's trying to be able to become a more household name. If you're a rapper or a singer or a producer or a beat maker, no matter where you live in the world, it's hard to be able to break through. And it's probably not what he was thinking, where his beats were going to be listened to on the daily, and again, sometimes, you need to be able to network, with people that can, get your stuff out there. And again, his stuff is exclusive to this channel, and it gives an opportunity for thousands of people every day to listen to his music that would never even know who he is. And again, it's a great thing to be able to have someone that, I respect and that I'm rooting for, and I can hopefully continue to not only promote myself, but promote him at the same time. And it's always a beautiful thing when you can actually root for someone to win instead of root for someone to not succeed. There's a lot of jealousy and envy in the world, and to be able to, actually have someone that you genuinely want to have success, it definitely makes me feel good on a daily basis, knowing that a piece of Brooks is being listened to, out there in the world globally every day, thousands and thousands of people. That's awesome. All right, let's go to the bottom of the 7th inning and see who's up next year for the Mariners. And he has such a unique vibe and style. No one sounds like him. Like, his style is completely unique to just him. And, I know that, for people that listen, even after the streams are over, it definitely will give you those vibes. Next up is Taylor Ward. On deck is the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Could Cal hit 3 home runs in a game? We'll find out. He's never done it before. And batting third, Cole Clutch Young. Could he have a multi-homer game today? I can't wait to find out. Go to the bottom of the 7th inning, 8-2 Mariners. Yeah. And again, it all depends, because in the past, I would just use no beats, and it would just be the game itself, or there would be like beats through the program that were like default, like regular beats, that I would start to kind of incorporate. And then, I knew how hard he was working, and I thought, what a better way, to be able to get his stuff out there where we could, kind of do this together. And I know that probably wasn't really his mindset, probably thinking, oh, I'm going to be able to grind, and maybe someone famous is going to be able to buy my beat, and then I'm going to be able to go that route. But, you just never know where you're going to be able to get your big break. So first pitch into Taylor Ward, takes a strike looking high and away. 0-1 pitch fouled off, out of play with a cutter, 90 miles an hour right down the middle. No balls and 2 strikes to Taylor Ward. 0-2 pitch, high and away. And honestly, Brooks is my favorite artist. Like, out of, music, I listen to his beats more than anything that I listen to. I like Ozzy Osbourne as far as like rock. I'm a big, person into hip hop. Hip hop is always going to be my number one, for rap. But obviously, if I was going to listen to someone other than rap, Ozzy would be the guy for me. But I got a kind of a wide variety of music that I listen to from time to time. But Brooks is usually the one that I listen to the most. 2-2 pitch, and down goes Ward on strikes, and that is 1 away. No, he's a busy guy. Again, he's on his health journey. He's running like ultra marathons, mini marathons. He's running like 5-10 miles a day. He's making beats. He's got a job. So, he's got his own personal life and stuff. Every once in a blue moon, he'll drop in the chat, but he's not going to be in here on the daily. So. but he knows, that I promote him to the fullest. So, and it's not like, we have an agreement, that I have to shout him out a certain amount of times. That was never discussed. It's just me doing it kind of out of the kindness, of my heart, because I wanted to make sure that, his name gets out there, and, and just, doing what I do as if, as if we had an agreement and going above and beyond, but, one ball and one strike to the big dumper, Cal Raleigh. One pitch, high and inside. 2 balls and 1 strike to big dumper, Cal Raleigh. Shugart on the mound, Raleigh in the box. And, the thing I like about Brooks's music the most is I can, close my eyes and like imagine him on, the beat machines and, in his little studio and, putting his, passion into something that he loves, and again, I can kind of relate with what I do here. I put a lot of time and energy, not only on the streams, but behind the scenes that nobody sees and whatnot, with all the research and the film study and everything else that I do. And, he has such a unique sound. He's a true one of one. 3-1 pitch, hard hit ball, deep right field, back, on! Cal Raleigh, first 3 home run game in his career. Woo! Unbelievable. First 3 homer game in his career. Cal Raleigh is back, baby. Woo! Unbelievable. Let's go. 3 home runs in a single game. Dumper is back, baby. Woo! 9-2 Mariners. Randy's getting hot. Cal Raleigh's getting hot. Julio's getting hot. Cole Young is getting hot. Wow. And again, it shows you, even when we get blasted from the night before, that doesn't mean that we can't end a 9-game win streak in the hottest team in baseball. And when this team is rolling, we can compete with anybody. Let's go. And Young driven back to the wall and caught, and that is 2 away. And SCG with $100 dono. Surprise! I appreciate you so much. Thank you for all the love and support right at the point with that 3rd homer by Cal. Let's go, baby. And it's great to be able to see the love and support. SCG with $100. Surprise! Thank you so much, my guy. Appreciate you. And hopefully that'll carry over to a lot of the other individuals that are watching, that, you don't have to wait for someone else to do it, and dono trains get started by one person and it gets led by another and then another, and sometimes you can't wait for someone else. Sometimes you just got to hop on that train and, show that love. And shout out to all the individuals that have been able to do that here today. 0-1 pitch into Weston Wilson is in there for a strike. And that is an 0-2 count. Great job there by Cal Raleigh. 0-2 pitch, low and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Weston Wilson. One-two pitch in there for strike 3. Down goes Weston, but not after Cal Raleigh hits 3 home runs for the very first time in his career. And you would think that if he were to do that, it probably would have happened last year in his 60 home run season. Had a lot of multi-homer games, 2 from the left, 2 from the right, 1 from the left, 1 from the right, but has 3 home runs, all from his weak side this year, the left side, which is typically the strong side, but he's been seeing the baseball better from the right side in the last month and a half. But today is the day that left side, he is locked in. I don't know what Wheaties he ate this morning, but this has been an amazing day. 9-2 Mariners. Unbelievable. So many home runs a day. It's a home run party. Let's go. What a day. End of the 7th inning, 9-2 Mariners. Let's go, baby. And we were at 650 for a while, then we were at 2650. And again, shout out to Christakis getting us going. And then obviously Velasco got us with $1.50 after Christakis got with a $5. Jordan coming in, our best Reds fan on the channel with a 20 on the birthday. And then SCG with a hundo. Thank you guys so much. And it shows you it's not how you start, it's how you finish. You know, and again, you need someone to get the party started, but then you also need other individuals to keep the party going. And a shout out to Jordan and SCG for keeping the party going. The beer is flowing. Let's go. Top of the 8th inning, 9-2 Mariners. Amazing. And I do believe we are going to win the division. We will make the playoffs. Next up in the 2-hole, shortstop Trey Turner. Batting second in the 3-hole, right fielder Bryce Harper. And batting third in the 4-hole, second baseman Luis Ariz. And whether people want to root for us to win or root for us to lose, you know, the Mariners are exciting, you know, and again, sometimes things, you know, go sideways, and we've had that happen a lot. But I think a majority of baseball fans that aren't Mariners, Astros, or Rangers would probably want to see the Mariners, you know, have a chance to do something rather than the other two teams. You know, we know the White Sox and the Guardians have been pretty good. You know, we know the Rays and the Yankees are the best in the American League. But if we play like this, you know, we can hang with anybody. And that is facts. 9-game win streak for the Phillies is potentially on the cusp of ending. First pitch to Trey Turner, low and at the knees, 1-0 count. 1-0 pitch, another sinker, low and at the knees, 2 balls and no strikes from Gabe Spire to Trey Turner. You know, and the Mariners are one of those teams that's kind of unpredictable. You know, you don't really know what version, you know, of the Mariners that you're going to get, you know. And again, that's why, you know, betting against us isn't necessarily going to work out every single time. You know, a lot of people say, oh, the Phillies are on a 9-game win streak. Oh, the Mariners got a shit record. They're terrible. I'm going to bet Phillies. And then what happened? You lost your money today. So never count us out. 3-1 pitch, little slow dribbler up the middle. Rodden is there. Nice laser throw to Naylor. Toe tap on the bag, and that is 1 away. Little slow dribbler there by Bryce towards first base and out of play. 0-1 count. This is going to be one of the most memorable games I'll ever remember. You know, again, in those 2 Cubs games as well. Like, we're starting to play some of our best games of the year within the last couple days. And that's exactly what we need as we've gotten through the meat of the schedule, of the hardest schedule of all 30 teams in baseball. The Mariners had the hardest schedule in August, and they were about to have the easiest schedule out of 30 teams in September. So everything is lining up, you know, for us to at least, you know, have that really good possibility of making up not only those 3 games, but getting into first place and not looking back. Pitch fouled off, high and away. No balls and 2 strikes from Gabe Spire to Bryce Harper. 0-2 pitch into the dirt with the slider, 85 miles an hour by the Pat McAfee lookalike. 1 ball and 2 strikes from Spire to Harper. You know, and that's what you want. You want, you know, us to be able to, you know, see the best version of the Mariners right now. You know, this is the last tough team that we play, even though the Red Sox have been pretty phenomenal since the All-Star break. But I feel like we match up to them very well, like we did against the Cubs. Line drive into right, and that is 2 away. but I do think we have a very good chance of winning 2 out of 3 against this Phillies team, 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays, and then we play the A's, and then it gets much easier in September, but we can't, let off the gas. We got to make sure that we keep that foot on the gas and don't play down the competition. We got to make sure that we're hungry, which I know we will be, to continue to climb the standings and eventually be the top team in the AL West in the worst division in baseball. But again, in the worst division in baseball, somebody's got to make the playoffs, and that's going to be us. First pitch into Luis Ariz is in there for a strike, 0-1 count. Oh, 1 pitch, little slow dribbler towards first. Routine play for Cole Young. Throw to Naylor, toe tap on the bag, and that is out number 3. And this is going to be the first game that in a long time that we've had all 4 categories hit. Offense, defense, starting pitching, and bullpen. Let's go. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th and see if we can get to double digits. Let's see if we can get to run number 10 and beyond. Trident's up. Let's go, Ems. SCG. He said, fuck it. I'll do it again for Cal. Special game. First time in the career hitting 3 home runs. SCG with a $100 dono and another one. Way to show everybody in the room how it's done. SCG. $100 dono and another $100 dono. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Me and Paisley appreciate you and every single individual that has donated today. Christakis with the $5. Obviously, we know Velasco with the $150. We were at $650 for about 2 hours. And then Jordan says, you know what? I'm going to show some love. I'm not even a Mariner fan. I'm a Red fan, but we love you. Jordan started it off and got the dono train moving. And SCG and SCG again. Let's go. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And again, that's going to help out with Paisley's dog food, the internet bill, the streaming fee, and just everything that I need to be able to continue to do this stream for all of y'all every single day. Thank you so much for your generosity and love to the channel in a very historic day. We're about to end the Phillies 9-game win streak. That's #1 in baseball. And Cal Raleigh doing something he's never done in his career, hitting 3 home runs in a game. And again, it's not like he's been batting very well. He's at a 160 batting average pretty much all year, but still has a chance to get to 20 plus home runs. That is incredible, baby. And I like the fact with the chat, right, that you can actually hit the like button on an individual's, dono and whatnot, and you can hit the like on that specifically. That's not something that they had in the past, which is very cool. Bottom of the 8th, 9-2 Seattle. Hard hit ball by Brock Rodden and out of play. Count now remains 1 ball and 2 strikes with nobody on and no outs. Bottom of the 8th inning, 9-2 Mariners. And again, we got Christakis to start off the dono train. Velasco, even it's $1, $1.50, every dollar counts. It all matters. And then Jordan and SCG came through and, you guys did your thing. And I really, really appreciate it. I work really, really hard, on this channel every single day. And I think a lot of people recognize that. And, it's just nice to be able to, get Brooks's music out as well. Even though you'll get some haters and newbies that come in and complain, about the music because they're not used to probably hearing a stream that has good music, because a lot of times, you're not either allowed to have, certain type of music, based off copyright and whatnot. So a lot of times it's just people talking, but, it's always nice to be able to have someone that has dreams and goals and you're able to help out with that dream and goal yourself. So shout out to Brooks Beats, the best beats on YouTube. 1-0 pitch to Randy Arozarena in there for a strike. 1-1 pitch, big swing and a miss as the batting helmet comes off for Randy Arozarena. 1 ball and 2 strikes. From Shugat to Randy Arozarena. Awesome photo. one of the best out of all the Mariner photos too. And, you know, when you have a spectacular day, when you hit a home run, you rob a home run, and you have a game-winning home run, that will always be a game that every Mariner fan will never, ever forget. Pitch is high and away, 2 balls and 2 strikes from Shugart to Randy Arozarena. 2-2 pitch, low and away. Count now is full, 3 balls and 2 strikes to Randy Arozarena. And again, there's only a few games where universally the Mariner fan base remembers, like Mike Cameron's 4 home run game. You know, that's another one, you know, where you're going to have certain memories of something crazy. In today's Cal 3 home run game, you know, again, you know, it's not hard. It's not easy, you know, to be able to hit 3 home runs in a game. And, you know, considering he hit all 3 from the left side, which he hasn't really been able to get the timing down from the left side this year, that makes it extra special as well. Next up is Dominic Canzone. And Canzone with a line drive. Oh, and caught. I was hoping that was going to drop in for a single or a double, but good defense out there in right field by Bryce Harper, and that is 2 away. You know, and we had a lot of, you know, more $50, $100 and up donations last season because of how good the Mariners, you know, were doing and whatnot. But again, you know, this is going to be a year that I'm never going to forget, you know, and sometimes you got to go through the adversity in life and the Mariners to be able to appreciate, you know, not only the tough times, you know, but also, you know, the joy. You know, and a lot of times if you're a fan of a Pacific Northwest team, you're going to have a lot more misery and pain than you are happiness and joy. But again, the happiness and joy will be authentic, considering we don't have it as often. And we just got to be able to ride this Uncle Mo and momentum all the way to the playoffs. First pitch is low and away to Julio Rodriguez, 1-0 count. And again, we talked about patience in the box out of Dom, Julio, and Cole Young, and all 3 responded today. And again, if those guys don't respond with the patience, as well as Cal Raleigh, we definitely aren't at 9 runs right now. And hopefully those guys will learn from today's game and bring that energy tomorrow with George Kirby on the mound, who hasn't been very good. You know, he's been our 2nd worst pitcher with Bryce Miller. So we're really going to need Kirby to give up 3 runs or less, not 5 or more like he has recently. So, and hopefully the bats can put up 5 to 10 tomorrow with Kirby giving up 3 or less and good bullpen pitching. And then, you know, we'll see what happens from there. 1-2 pitch, and that ends up being strike 3 to Julio, and that is out number 3. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th inning. Andres Munoz coming out, and hopefully he doesn't give up a run, and we can win this game 9-2. But it's always, you know, one of those things where you can, you know, end up getting a like. It's so appreciated. You can get a sub, even more appreciated. And then you can, you know, have vibes and build friendships and bonds with the chat. That's really appreciated, you know, and then people sharing the channel on other social media platforms. That's so appreciated as well. And then the biggest, you know, form of appreciation is a donation, and you're not donating, you know, to a channel per se, you are, but you're donating to someone's dream. You know, and you're doing that for everyone that's got a channel. And thank you to all the individuals that have stepped up today. And hopefully that will, you know, transfer over to a few others that are watching in the room as well before the stream is over. All right, let's go to the top of the 9th and let's see if we can hammer this win, baby. Yeah, Cal only needs 3 more to get to 20, and he's going to get there. So even though he batted pretty much 160 all year and all the criticism, how many guys could bat 160 all year and hit 20 home runs or more? Like nobody. I'm telling you, nobody would be able to do it. Cal is one of those guys. He's been injured this year. He's had some mental, you know, health issues. And wow, they're bringing in Carlos Vargas. Interesting. I'm not sure if I would really want Vargas out right here in this situation, but that's who they're bringing out. But again, you know, Cal has only had, you know, this 1 year where he's been hurt, and it shows you even in a bad year, he might be able to get 20, 25 home runs. So all those people that hopped off, you know, on the Cal Raleigh bandwagon, you know, again, it really does show you, you know, if you look at his numbers at the very end, he is one of the best catchers in baseball, and he will continue to be one of the best catchers in baseball. Is he going to be able to hit 60 home runs all the time? No, but there's a good chance that he might have one more season like that of 40 plus home runs. And, if you look at his, career since he got called up in 2022, it's usually 20 to 35 home runs. And that's usually a very good year. And if you hit above that, above 35, you're having an all-star career year. Remember, the number one catcher in home runs prior to Cal last year was Salvador Perez with 48. Cal obliterated that record by 12 and got 60 and still didn't get loved by baseball fans, and they gave it to Judge. Vargas with the slow dribbler and throw to first and got him. Wow, Vargas with the hustle. Unbelievable. So I guess we're going to save Mooney maybe for later on, but good job there by Carlos Vargas after coming in after Cade Anderson and shitting the bed. This is his second opportunity to show that, hey, I can be an asset, not a liability. And we're still waiting for Brash and Criswell. But he could have gave up on that play after it hit his mitt, but he ran after it. And I can appreciate that and actually made a decent throw to first. Think about how many guys would have just gave up on that play. Nice job by Carlos Vargas. And I'd rather have Vargas than any AAA guy. No disrespect to Rucker and Davila and Hoppy and Simpson, but, we need, to have our pros back in the bullpen. Nice job there. First pitch is high and away with the sinker, 0-1 count. 0-1 pitch, takes another strike looking high and away. Vargas looking good here. No balls and 2 strikes, and right to Vargas's glove. And look at that, underhand throw, 2 up and 2 down. Vargas looking good, baby. Let's go. And that's the type of Vargas that we need, considering we haven't had him all season. He still missed Matt Brash. But when Brash was playing, 2 games above 500. When Brash went out, we haven't been able to be above 500 since. So, again, when we get Brash back and Criswell, it is really going to give us that lift on top of getting J.P. Crawford back tomorrow and especially Brandon Donovan. And that's going to happen in about 5 to 7 days. Next up is Brandon Marsh. Brett with a tour. There you go. Every dollar counts. My guy. And it shows you that Christakis and others can be an influence to this channel. Velasco and Christakis, Jordan, SCG, and now Brett. Appreciate you, Brett. 1-0 pitch fouled off, low and away. 1 ball and 1 strike with nobody on and 2 outs. And Cal hit 3 home runs, so we're out of fireworks, they said. First game in his career with 3 home runs. And, again, if you were a betting man, you probably would have thought that would have happened last year. But it shows you the greatness of Cal Raleigh, and again, his leadership, and his defense and everything that he does for the pitchers. It's not just, about batting average, even though that might be the stat that a lot of people look at. It's all about the player overall, on and off the field. And, if Cal can keep this up, hopefully he'll be able to get his batting average to 200 and above before the season ends. 1-2 pitch. Big swing and a miss, and Vargas gets the save. Woo! Let's go. What a game. 9-game win streak ends, and that was the longest win streak in baseball, and we got a complete effort out of everybody on the Mariners. Unbelievable. What a victory. Final score, Mariners 9, Phillies 2. Let's go over to the stat line, and this is going to be something I'm going to look forward to reading off. Let's start it off with the Phillies, though, first. We know Cal will be interviewed. All right, so Schwarber 0 for 3 with a run. Trey Turner 0 for 4 with an error. Bryce Harper 2 for 3, 2 singles early on. Luis Arraez 1 for 4. Alec Boehm 0 for 4 with an RBI. Bryson Stott 1 for 4. Brandon Marsh 0 for 4. JT Realmuto 1 for 3 with a home run. And Justin Crawford 0 for 3. All right, let's go to the Mariners and see what we got here. All right, Randy Arozarena 0 for 2, but got a run. Someone else been able to step up after Randy's been kind of holding it down, putting the team on his back as of late. Dominic Canzone 1 for 5 with a run. Julio Rodriguez 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a home run. Great job, Julio. Josh Naylor 3 for 4, even after hitting his head on Trey Turner's knee. Still continue to play great baseball. Taylor Ward 0 for 2 with a run. Cal Raleigh 3 for 3 with 4 RBIs and 3 home runs. First time in his career to hit 3 home runs here today. And again, tied Jay Buhner and Edgar Martinez for the second most multi-homer games in Mariners history, 22. Great job there by Cal Raleigh. And again, he's going to continue to, eat up the record books for the Mariners. And again, he should be a Mariner for life. Just because you have one rough year, doesn't mean that we should get rid of him or people turn on him. And, I got a Cal Raleigh City Connect jersey that I wear proudly, and I never will sell it or get rid of it. And, again, I'm really happy for Cal Raleigh. A really class act on and off the field. And, again, some people may turn their back on certain guys when things go wrong, but again, you can't turn your back on a class act like this guy, Cal Raleigh. Cole Young, 1 for 4 with a home run. Way to get off the schneid. Now he's at 16 home runs on the season. Julio's at 20 as well. And Weston Wilson went 0 for 4. So we'll have J.P. Crawford take third base from him. And then Brock Rodden 0 for 4. And hopefully Rodden will be able to get a hit tomorrow. What a game. What a game. And shout out to Chris Dawkins with the 5-er. Velasco with the 150. And then Jordan really started to get the party going with the 20. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the kind words. Our favorite Reds fan on planet Earth. And then SCG with a $100 surprise. And then after Cal, did that 3-run jack, afterwards he said, you know what, Cal special game, let me do another $100 dono. SCG and Jordan, I see you, I appreciate you. And then Brett says, you know what, I want to join the dono train. I appreciate you. Brett with the $2 holla himself as well. Appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. Appreciate you guys very, very much. And again, can't wait till tomorrow. We got George Kirby on the mound. And again, we're really starting to find our rhythm. And it's just awesome that Cal was able to have this type of game, today. And again, 9-game win streak is over. We're starting to really find our rhythm. And again, if we can win 2 out of 3 against the Phillies, 2 out of 3 against the Red Sox, 2 out of 3 against the Blue Jays, watch out, world. September becomes very easy schedule-wise. And again, we're going to overtake the Rangers and Astros for first place sooner than later. Love you guys, and I appreciate you guys very, very much. I hope you guys enjoyed Brooks's music as well as the broadcast. Final score, Mariners 9, Phillies 2. 9-game win streak for the Phillies ends. And Logan Gilbert doing Logan Gilbert things. Carlos Vargas, I see you. And Cal Raleigh with a 3-run home run game. First time in his career. Home runs by Julio and Cole Young as well. Beautiful performance, top to bottom. And I got one question for you. Well, talk sports like us. Your boy Ryan, Northwest Sports Fanatics. Tridents up and go Mariners.